Tano here from INGAGE GG, giving you the rundown on our most recent sponsor, grabtap. The incredible team over at grabtap have got me to get on this video and show you how their website works, and it's incredibly easy. To kick things off, we just go straight to this website here. So what is grabtap and how does it work? Grabtap is simple. It's a website where you can log in, choose whatever game you want to play or whatever your community would like to play, complete the missions, and then you get gift cards. You can redeem the points for gift cards. It's literally as simple as that, and it is just a brilliant way for creators to not only earn on the games that they could already be playing, but also to earn from your community as they play the games for you or with you. So as you can see, this is as simple as it gets. You'll log in, you'll choose a game, you'll see the missions for that game, and then you will be able to do those and earn the points that you can redeem to gift cards. And of course, if you are a viewer rather than a creator, you can redeem to support a creator following this. So let's get stuck into it. So as you can see, it's literally just grabtap.com, grabtap.com, and you'll click this lovely button here that says start now. That will open up multiple different login or sign up options that you want to take. I signed up with Twitch because why wouldn't I? So I'm going to take that one right here. So here we are, this is my screen. I'm currently signed in and it tells me the games that I can pick up and play here. From what you can see, I can also join another community using this button if there's somebody else's community that I want to be a part of. But this is me right now. These are the games that I currently have on offer that I'm able to earn from. Now let's say that we want to play Star Trek Fleet Command. We would click on this and then we would install the game onto either the device that we're currently using or onto our mobile, for example. It says here what the options are. You can play it on PC, you can play it on Apple, you can play it on Android. And these are the total points that you can earn for this game. And that is a massive amount, by the way, guys. As you scroll down, you'll see the missions and what you need to do to be able to get those points. It's incredibly easy. It tells you exactly what you need to do, but also you get bonus points for any kind of money that you spend in the game. So not only are you getting what you need from the game, but you're also getting points. Incredibly good, and it'll also tell you the requirements on this right hand side. Biggest one is usually that you must not have a VPN on because it needs to be able to track on the devices, and you should not switch devices whilst you are playing. And then once you've played these missions and you have got your points, you can go to the rewards menu and claim your rewards. Now if we had a look at Star Trek Fleet Command, that was over 200,000 points that you could get from playing that. And look at that, $50 gift card for 50,000 points. You can get plenty of those, and it is pretty amazing. You can see all the different options that you've got, from Twitch, Just Eat, to Amazon, to debit cards and everything like that. A brilliant way for you to earn whilst you game, as well as being able to get yourself some gift cards and your community being able to support you. Now you can head to your dashboard up in this top right hand corner, and this will tell you what you've earned from your community. Of course, I've signed in just now. I haven't used it just yet. Looking forward to doing so. But you can see some of the different games that they've had in the past down this list. It's really, really useful. And as I say, it's not just about a creator like me. You can swap back to player mode, and it's all about what you play and what you earn from the games that you have the options to have a go at. For example, I was already thinking of playing Marvel Strike Force, so I could have a look at that and earn myself 154,000 points. Pretty huge for me to then be able to go and redeem a gift card from. This website is incredibly easy to use. As I've shown you, you literally just sign in from one of the multiple options that you've got, and then you just head to the game screen as normal, pick whatever game you want to play, and once you pick that game up, you can see it in your missions menu for the game that you will be playing. So that's it, guys. It's as quick and as simple of a rundown as I can give you, because it's a very simple website to use and a very simple way for you to earn money, not only for yourself, but for your community as well. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you back on the games. Good evening, Europe. Welcome in. How are you all doing? Welcome to Unite Fight Club. I'm Spartan Tano, and I'm joined here by my incredible buddy, Lobo. How are you doing today, mate?
Mate, I was just enjoying the way you were staring into my soul. I absolutely loved every single minute. There's one thing I need in my life more often, and that is just Spartan Tano staring directly at me, and I'm ready to confess my sins. However, we're going to put confessional on hold for just a second because, as always, every Monday and Thursday in the EU region, it is Fight Night, baby! We're here for another absolute banger of a UFC, the Unite Fight Club. I'm excited. We got 4 teams ready and waiting to get in the ring. They've got the gloves on. It's time to duke it out, buddy boy.
Today is going to be amazing, chat. Not only do we have No Micro and MTZ Esports, 2 teams that we know are very good and bring a really hype game every time, but we get to see a newcomer joining us today. Los Catacados are joining us in the Unite Fight Club. They joined. This is going to be their first time competing versus none other than Guerrilla Tactics, as you can see on the schedule for the day. This is going to be one of the best Unite Fight Clubs yet.
I mean, we have watched Los Catacudos before. We have seen these other teams before. No Micro going up against MTZ Esports. Los Catacudos going up against Guerrilla Tactics. A debutante time coming up for Los Catacudos. Let's see if they can hit the ground running for the UFC for this week. It is day 3. Season 1 has begun. Days 1 and 2 were last week. Day 3 is right now, so we're super excited to see how we go. But as always, buddy, at the UFC we have some very special rules that we like to abide by. If production could bring us the wonderful graphic that we have mentioned every single time out, we're gonna take you guys through Fearless Draft, and this is probably one of the most exciting things that we get to do here at the UFC. So I'm very, very excited. We'll get the graphic up, but the premise of the UFC is such. Once you select a team of 5, you may not select the same 5 Pokemon again. You must choose an entirely new rotation of 5 Pokemon in your second game, and the same goes for your third game. So if we go to a full game of 5 situation, my buddy boy, we're going to have almost 20 Pokemon being unable to be played for one team. Now, that's not including the 4 bans as well. Thank you, production, for getting this lovely graphic up for us. As you can see, match 1, Aegislash, Blastoise, Absol, Alcremie going to be used. Match 2, those Pokemon are going to be banned out for that team. They can be used by the other team. So in total, between both teams, we're going to have 40 Pokemon banned out plus our bans. That's 44 Pokemon, my buddy boy. That's going to create some very interesting matchups. And for us, we have seen some Pokemon that we never thought we would see coming into these competitive 5 stacks.
It is one of the best things about these kind of tournaments, buddy, these kind of leagues. Fearless Draft is one on its own, a very exciting prospect. And I know Los Catacudos, it's their first time competing with Fearless Draft, buddy, and they're very excited to do so. So it's going to be pretty hype. But we wouldn't be able to put on these incredible productions and this entire league if it wasn't for our amazing sponsors. Obviously, we saw grabtap. I brought the video on for you to be able to see, guys, and that is one way of you being able to not only earn yourself some incredible gift cards, but also to be able to work towards somebody's community like my own or Lobo's, so that you can help us as well in that supporting gesture. But on top of that, we have our incredible buddies over at pinkparsnip Computers, and they have been able to put on some incredible codes for you to get some great benefits from their website. If you want to upgrade your setup, whether that's PC, whether that's streaming or whatever, you can go onto their website, use Engage 5 for 5% off your entire order, site-wide, no limit on that, and use code ENGAGESTREAM. You can get yourself £15 off the Stream Deck Mini, or use Engage Ship for free UK shipping on any purchase over £300.
Mate, I might just have to consider coming over to the EU region, the UK region, to get myself on that Steam Deck Mini. For any streamers, that is an absolute must. It makes the process of streaming so much easier, but the process of banning is a much more complicated one when it comes to Pokemon Unite. They're Pokemon that you just don't want to see standing across from you across there. Sky Ruins, but Galarian, Rapidash, Eldegoss, Snorlax, and Suicune gonna be banned out this time. Eldegoss, one of our favorite supporters that has come back into the fold very recently, especially in this new patch. But we're gonna pick up the Hooper, little gremlin that it is. Sorry, that Sableye, little trickster that it is. But Knight's gonna hover over Leafeon. Now, you and I mean, we've had a contentious display over Leafeon. I'm slowly coming back around to it. However, I think Leafeon has been struggling in the early games for me, whereas I would like to see it run more interference. People are just going into those lanes as those ganks come through. However, Leafeon getting that level 4 early. We just want to see it go back in, start taking some buffs away from the enemy team. Oni bringing out the Demon Raid boss.
Oh, this is going to be interesting, buddy. Last time that we saw No Micro on the field, Oni was so difficult to take down on this Venusaur, bro. They had to use everything to the opposition. It was Arigato. Unable to do so. Oni was, I mean, they did in the final fight, but it took everything that they had. Now, MDR is pulling out the Amarouge here. They've got a Comfey. Gaddy has picked that up. Will we see Fire Spin? And will Amara look for those all-rounders that are so good with that Comfey that we're so used to seeing them playing?
I agree with you. And look, Slowbro is a very good pick here. I would be interested to see if they decide to go with that Scald moveset to really put a damper on that Gyarados and Oni on that Venusaur. However, Telekinesis and Surf also very good to stun them out. Telekinesis, I feel, is a must. Maybe they go with Amnesia to keep that Slowbro alive. Amara is going to pick up the Spider, the Natural, the Organic Computer itself in that Metagross. Gaddy has elected to go with the Floral Necklace. Lots of options for them, pretty much its entire team on the side of MTZ for Gaddy to really hop off and hop onto, which is what you want to see good Comfeys doing, going onto all of their teams to really negate that solo healing you've got going. But I have to say, Ickless has decided to bring and press the big blue button. Last time we saw that, we did see an Icy Wind build come out from Ickless, so I'm interested to see if they're going to stick with that and go with that big burst damage.
What is interesting as well is that Oni, with the moveset that they've currently got on, looks like it's going to be Petal Dance Venusaur, mate. And I like that because you do have the Glaceon there, so you do have some range. You kind of want to go raid bossy with that, especially coming up against Metagross. I mean, that's probably why Amara has gone for the Metagross. But looking at the Amarouge moveset, potentially going for the Armor Cannon there and being the ranged attack for MTC Esports, is it going to be enough? This is going to be all about how Knight can get cooking on this Leafeon, buddy, because if Knight can and really limits what Ickless can do and Oni can do, that'll be a way for MTZ to get into that winning stage.
This is exactly what I was talking about before. I want to see Knight, if they're going to go into that central area, maybe it's going to be Amara that takes that central area with that Beldum. However, Amara does like to stack on those all-rounders that they are going for. We want to see Knight take one of those buffs, split the central lane with whoever they decide to split it with, go in and stop that Venusaur from getting online, because as we can see right now, Oni is in that central lane for the side of No Micro, who are on your purple side. MTZ Sports going to be on your orange side as well. But one of the best things that MTZ Esports can do is stop that Magikarp from going up that waterfall and becoming the big fearless car.
Gotta make sure you don't give over a KO as well, mate. That's one of the things that I see with these Magikarps. If you want to try and punish it so much that sometimes you end up giving over a needless KO because you're so desperate to find the limit onto that Magikarp. Right now, Knight isn't even going to go and attack the central area here on course of Oni. They're just going to come into this top lane. And this is not quite aggressive enough for a Leafeon, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you 100%. This is aggressive enough that they're going to attack the supporter, try and take that red buff away from Where. However, we do have Oni inside the central area. Ivysaur still not the best Pokemon to come out of that central lane here, but Charcadet and Ickless are here as well. They're going to make it a 4v4 fight into that top lane. The Glacial Spears going to hit their mark. Comfey has made its mark on to the Leafeon. Oni gets taken down by a beautiful smackdown from net tank Amara. However, Hooper gets their comeback as Knight gets sent back as well.
That's a good effort from Ickless. Usually at a level 4, Glaceon, they're not quite as strong as other evolutions, but you're looking for that level 6 to realistically have the power spikes you're looking for on a Glaceon. So getting that KO is really important, but Amara already showing how having that comfy collar around that Metang is going to be a bit of an issue. And the fact that they've managed to at least limit this Magikarp to at least an 8-minute spawn on the Gyarados is pretty big. It's literally just come in now, so they're going to alleviate, well, put more pressure on in that lane. There's no micro, as we have the Regidrago about to come on in. These rotations from MTZ Esports are absolutely on point, Lobo.
They're quite good, as we do see Knight has gone hunting for Hooper. They found the target. Regidrago has decided to take the stroll down into that bottom lane. You see MDR is online, going for that armor cannon moveset, not the fire spin that we are so used to seeing. Glace Icicle Spears are going to make their mark, but the raid boss is here with the Giga Drain and the Pedal Dance. Look at the damage that was put out. Unfortunately, Gaddy has had to hop off, but the rest of their team has had to retreat because Oni is on the hunt.
Ooh, that they are going to rein in the points now as no micro are the first ones to
We'll wait
score.
for him to get on back. A beautiful Rock Tomb. Also managing to stop Leafeon from going back up that Flux Zone. A 30 is about to go in, leaving that bottom tier 1 on 4 points and 4 points only. Giga Drain is going to keep Oni nice and healthy, but look at how much damage Slowbro is absorbing due to those Icicle Spears. We're waiting now, just 3 seconds left to go until this spawns, and Red Ice is maybe not what No Micro wanted to see coming into this bottom lane. They rolled the dice, they rolled the RNG, but they're going to take it right off the pad, and the Hooper Highway is going to be in great effect to send them to that top path. Now, Gyarados is going to jump into the Emerald 2-step. Knight eliminates, Dragon Current goes out, Metang gets sent back as well. Armor Cannon is going to bounce off of the Gyarados as No Micro decide to crash this tier 1 in the top pad.
Can you hear me, Lobo? Am I coming through?
Indeed. I can indeed hear you, my friend. We have got Tano back. He has returned. Buddy, No Micro, 176 to 0. Donut store open for MTZ.
Yeah, it's a brilliant effort, is that, buddy? It's working for them, an absolute treat. And again, MTZ Esports, they need to get some points in. Being that big donut on the board is not a position that you want to be in. You only win Pokemon Unite by scoring goals, buddy. And right now, levels-wise as well, No Micro, they've got what they need. Gyarados at level 10. We've got the Unite move on the side of Oni, and then we do also have it on the side of the Glaceon. Need a little bit more for MTZ Esports as they look to see if they can back up here. Clack trying to see if they can stop them. Not able to just yet, but they're getting ready to get going for this. There's Glacial Stage going to come on through, trying to see if those spears are going to connect. Plenty raining through in the middle of that Unite move there, and Anger is going to be thrown on in. Emerald 2-step though, tries to dodge it. All they do is run into a Pedal Dance Venusaur, bro, and No Micro clean them up.
I mean, all of the Unite moves just flying there. Leafeon was shredded down by those Icicle Spears. Amara is here to try and do their best. I just don't think that Armor Cannon is working as well as a Fire Spin would work right now, considering the amount of bulk and survivability that No Micro have on their team. They can just send everybody back and where on that Hooper. A 40 dunk goes into that top. They finally close that donut store with 30 to MTZ Esports. However, this is still a tall mountain to climb. 11 seconds until we see what Reggie decides to spawn bot lane. However, Slowbro just cannot do anything with those Icicle Spears.
Micro going to continue to put pressure in that top lane as well, but he's 17 going in from the Gyarados, but down here it's all about the Reggie steal, zoning them out with MTZ Esports diving in onto the Glaceon there, using the Compute and Crush to do just that. They find the KO, Leafeon does get KO'd in return as well, having the stadium up. Kind of bit of a trap there for No Micro, as they're able to clean up MTZ Esports stuck in it and take the Reggie steal. Anytime MTZ has some sort of advantage, No Micro shutting it down.
I mean, Oni just went ahead and said, you're not stuck in here. I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me. That is a level 12 Venusaur, but even more impressively, that's a level 13 Gyarados. Gyarados, Clem on that Gyarados has been very impressive, just letting their team do what they need to do on the rest of the map. They've been scoring. They've been getting their stacks. That Gyarados is fully powered and ready to go. MTZ Esports are actually going to turn the table, try and make a push into this bottom path. However, a Crustle and a Venusaur is nothing to shake your head at. That is a bulky defense that they had to take off. Knight is looking for that Venusaur as well. Looking for it. I don't know if Leafeon is the best tank to take it on, but a shotgun burn and Anger pushes Knight right back, but There's where to send them right back through the hooper hole. Give them a nice little bit of replenishment of health.
Well, Icarus has taken the opportunity there, buddy, knowing they could use their Unite move once before they have to save it for the Groudon fight, trying to see if they could find the Leafeon pick on Knight, but unable to, because yes, very quick Pokemon is that speedster, and they managed to sneak away. Right now, though, we don't have anything going on. Just the farm spawning on the side of MTZ Esports. No objectives on the field just yet. So no micro. They're looking for a fight. They're desperate for it. Amara's trying to see if they can score this 50. Ickless goes into the bush to see if they can get the target onto them. Probably not wise against a Metagross, but the rest of the team is there to at least back them up. And now they want to go chase down the rest of MTZ. No micro. So aggressive here, Lobo.
I mean, Glaceon, yes, they are very squishy, but that passive, that I do believe it's called the Ice Cloak. I think it is what it's called. I'll have to double check that. Finding Metagross, Amara in that bush, but the rest of MTZ Esports were there to try and defend, but Gyarados is fearsome enough. 4 seconds for the final basement Reggie to spawn before Groudon. It is a Regirock, as if Oni was not hard enough to take on enough. Give it a defensive buff, that's even more of a problem.
Yeah, that it is. That's going to be so huge coming into the Groudon fight in about 20 seconds, mate. 283 points to 30 right now. MTZ Esports are on the back foot. The only saving grace they have, as well as having a level 13 Metagross, they do have all their Unite moves, and they have 2 tier 1 goals that No Micro still have to nurse going into this fight.
I mean, Clem has probably just told their entire team that the fact that MTZ Esports is in that top up, Rock Tomb stops them from going in, but the fight is going to start. A computing crash comes down, and Oni is the first one to go down. That is their big demon on the hop. Glaceon has managed to take a KO on Leafeon. Armor Cannon trying to put damage through the backside. Dragon Current pushes everybody back up and bounces to try and get a knockup. Fossil is taking the brunt of this Metagross's damage, and Amara gets felled by the angry dragon. Daddy is there, jumps onto Haru, but Gyarados just that rapid attack fire, 3 KO streak, and Gaddy has no choice but to get caught by the Rock Tomb and get sent back to Nurse Joy.
That is such a shame, buddy. MTZ Esports did everything right. They took down Oni, the biggest threat that they had on the side of No Micro. They just had to do target selection on the rest of No Micro. But there's so much HP, so much tank on the side of No
Ever, we again, and that is going to be game number 1. Ever, we again, and that is going to be game number 1 to the side of No Micro. Remember, everybody, this is a best of 5 coming through for this one. No best of 3, best of 5 in this game, in this first set that we're watching. But, mate, No Micro, very impressive out the gates.
That they are, mate. Best of 5 in Fearless Draft as well. So you can say goodbye to the Leafeon for the sake of MTZ. You can say goodbye to the Metagross for Amara. And you can say goodbye to Oni's Venusaur and Ickless's Glaceon for them. Because now they can't play those Pokemon again in this set. And where we already know is an incredible support player. The Hooper was pulled out in game 1, buddy. So already No Micro pulled out some of their biggest picks. So as MTZ is going to get so good if this ends up going all the way down to those game 4s and game 5 situations.
With the history on their side right now, Tana, we have been seeing one team usually take the lead and go up 2-0. And the amount of times that we said it, the hardest thing to do in competitive esports, especially for Pokemon Unite, is that reverse flip. We've seen some teams bring it back to 2-1. We've seen some teams bring it back to 2-2. But so far, nobody has been able to complete the full reverse flip. However, I mean, we are waiting for the day that we can see. Just having a look at the damage again. Damage is not bad across the board for all the teams. Ickless was a big problem with that shred, as was Oni dealing 61 and 67 top damages. MTZ Esports not even getting past, just barely past that 50k mark with Knight on that Leafeon. Talk to me about Armor Cannon. It didn't seem like it was as effective as we thought it would be.
Bro, this community will know my opinions on Armor Cannon Armarouge. I just think, why would you play Armor Cannon Armarouge? I just think there's other range attackers out there. I like that it has a little bit of splash damage, and I know it does a decent amount of damage, but I just think there's way better ranged attackers out there. If you are picking up Armarouge, you should go Fire Spin. It is ridiculously good on that Pokemon. And if you don't have a comp that you're against that's good for Fire Spin, don't pick up Armor Rouge, bro. I just think there's much better ranged attackers, in my opinion. Now, not to say, MDR's not a good player on it, because 100% they're a very good player. But I just think it lacks at the moment. There's a lot more out there. Miraidon at the moment is doing much better. There's no Speedster on the side of No Micro there. You'd have got a lot more trying to combat that with a bit of a Miraidon.
I agree with you. I mean, we get a little bit more opinionated as we go through because we're seeing these movesets day in, day out, twice a week, every week until the end of the year. We ain't going nowhere. We have had very interesting opinions on certain Pokemon that we are seeing and how they fit into the current meta. I think Armor Rouge is definitely one of those Pokemon that I think it has a moveset that works for it. Psyshock works very well. You don't see a lot of Flame Charge coming through because why would you need to? Obviously, because Armor Rouge just sits there and tanks everything with Fire Spin. Another Pokemon that you and I still have not really come to a consensus on is our brand new supporter. I say brand new, it's the newest supporter on the field right now, and that is Latias. We cannot really seem to place Latias just yet and what it is able to do. Maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. There's still a lot of other supporters that I'd rather pick ahead of the red half of the Eon duo, my friend.
Mate, as people know my opinion on Amakan and Armor Rouge, people very much know my opinion on Latias. In my opinion, is that it's just not worth picking up. We've seen it plenty of times. We've seen it in other EU tournaments as well. And I don't see these very good support players. I don't see getting much out of it, mate. I think until it gets buffed significantly, leave it on the field. Night Terror is constantly shouting for people to be able to use both of them and utilize the passive. And I'm like, every time I see that in a tournament setting, it's Latias for a reason, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, we saw it. I saw it the other day with Latios and Latias coming to the forefront. But again, you're more relying on the Latios's damage, which has been significantly nerfed since its release. To really carry that duo. It was looking at its Unite DB. I don't even know what it means with Dragon Cheer to say that it rallies its teammate. What does that even mean? If any competitive players, I would love to get confirmation as to what rallying your teammate actually means. Tana, do you know what that means? Because I am so very stumped.
I can only imagine that it means some sort of attack buff, mate, because I'm just thinking of other games where they use the word rally, and that's exactly what it means. It just means that you get a bit of a buff to your healing and a bit of buff to your attack. So I would like confirmation though. So if any pro players are here in chat and know what that means, please do let us know.
I mean, we do our job. We do our best to try and be as knowledgeable about what we're talking about. But again, I think Latias has just been one of those Pokemon that have stumped anyone that I've sat behind the caster's desk with since its release, with just on the field right now. So it's just, one of those Pokemon that I think it's not worth a ban. It's not worth a go through. What is worth a ban though is once again that Eldegoss, Rapidash, and Slowbro is going to join the ban stage, as well as Suicune is still going to be kept in jail for now. Wenrup is going to go with the Blissey. Again, probably one of the most prominent supporters right now. Speaking of Lati Blue, Ickless is going to pick up the blue half of the Eon duo. I wonder. Nope. I mean, Wenrup's already picked up their supporter. We're not going to see Latios this game.
I do like the Latios, sorry. I think that's a good pickup. Knight's bringing out the Pawmot. Now, we've seen Pawmot struggle in other EU tournaments, buddy, and even in this one, when Nacho's played it, I felt like it didn't do that effective. The Unite move was good. Outside of that, it didn't do much, but having a conversation with some of these pro players in interview settings, they've stated they feel like it is so oppressive. People are banning it first, people are picking it first, and they feel like it's even better than Blaziken in the role it plays.
I mean, well, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm so open to having my mind changed. I'm so open to seeing something different, but yet so far Pawmot has seemed to struggle a little bit. However, Knight is no slouch on any Pokemon that they pick up. Only decided to pick up Leafeon, so turnabout is fair play. Micro is going to show MTZ Esports just how annoying a Leafeon can be. MDR is going to pick up the Mew, probably one of the range attackers that has come back into the forefront after those buffs that it received. One of the Pokemon that I am so impressed with right now, and I feel goes very underrated currently in the meta, is Blastoise. It is such a good Pokemon right now, Tano. I've seen it recently. Its ability to survive, its tankiness, Hydro Typhoon, whether you go Hydro Spin or Hydro Surf, that Pokemon is just a problem. And Amara being on that, Amara is going to actually switch over to that format. So I'm excited to see the combination plays that we're going to get from Gaddy, Amara, and Knight. Wonder if Amara is going to stick with Hyperspace Hall or go with Trick. And we see the nuclear option come out from Brave Bird from the side of MTZ Esports.
Brave Bird would be a good shout. I mean, Fly is always the safer one, but I mean, you do have Ickless there, and I think Brave Bird, a bit of a surprise approach would be definitely a good shout, mate, especially with Gaddy being there. Will they use the Trick Phantom Force? Because we've been seeing that a lot more from these players now, but on this new map, we know how important it is to get these rotations in, right? It's all about how you control Fire Sky Ruins. If you get a lead, that is the most important thing now in Pokemon Unite. You don't have a ridiculously amazing green dragon that spawns up and just wins the game for you if you take it, bro. It's not like that anymore. So let's see if they can get that lead that they're looking for in the early game.
And I'm very glad that we don't have a green dragon that just is the win con for every single game. This game has become much more competitive and much more joy to watch, with a lot more action going across the entirety of the 10 minutes. It's such a short 10-minute game, but so much going on as we do have Ickless inside that bottom part. Snorlax, Haru is going to take a bit of damage, but MDR is there to secure with that Electro Ball. Leafeon once again in that central lane, looking to do exactly what I want to see from Leafeons. Instead of going early to that top path, they're going to go into that central lane and steal something away from Knight.
That's the last thing you want, isn't it? You're trying to get your buffs, and then it's a Leafeon that comes in and takes your red one. You're just going to go back to Nurse Joy. You have no choice in the matter, and then Knight, they only comes into the lane and sees if they can find more. But this is what I wanted to see from a Leafeon before the 9-minute mark.
I mean, you and I have been calling it for every single time. I want to see a Leafeon go and hinder the opposite team's central area. It's still level 5 as is Flexinder, but we've got Ickless here on that. Latios is now here. The damage coming through. Hooper sends everybody back, and they decide not to come back because they're afraid of the damage that Latios can put down alongside Oni. But it's just going to let them rein in those scores, 53-11. Early game, but no micro. They don't want to give up any of this control that they have.
It's great control, trying to see if they can limit Knight. Oh, the pound comes through, but they do get back. And to be honest, MTZ have at least capitalized on the fact that majority of no micro were in that top lane. They've managed to score some points down here. They've got the levels at least on their Mew that's hit level 6 now, but no micro. They want to keep this aggression on, but Ickless, I thought, was going to go back in for the talent, but makes the wise decision to get out of there.
Amara's going to go in with that Supercell Slam assisted by MDR, picking up that KO. We're finally starting to see what Pokémon is so very good at, just sustainability, big damage, as well as big movement coming out from that Supercell Slam. We've seen Oni has decided to turn their attention to the Regidrago. Can Haru go for a steal? But Umbreon is right in front of it, not even going to try, because that mean look found Haru in that push without even looking.
It's a classic move from Classics, but he may need to get that mean look on them and allowing that secure to come on through. Right now, though, very close game between these two teams. Looking at the levels and points, we do have some more 7s on the side of no micro, so they're edging it with at least these levels right now. Amara is just going to constantly try and go in with this Pokémon. This is what people talk about. It sticks to you like glue, but it's such a nuisance to deal with. But wisely decides to go away with Oni coming into the lane on this Leafeon.
It can stick to you like glue, but the moveset decision by Clem is actually very important. Pokémon finally getting that evolution. That Hydro Spin is going to be such a problem to deal with, alongside a beautiful Emerald 2-step. Oni, keep it to his namesake, is a demon for a problem that MTZ have to deal with.
That was totally over KO, buddy, coming in with the Emerald 2-step, but you're going to make sure that you can get the KO early enough so that you can go cause issues. And a good effort from Hooper there, trying to see if they could find themselves that secure. Gaddy doesn't, though, and it is going to be locked in by no micro. Regieleki down in the bottom lane. They've broken the pad here, has MTZ, and they're going to see if they can get this secure. They will. It's uncontested, but no micro going to make sure that they get something for their efforts, going through the central area and taking all that farm away.
just for the sake of, because they have the hoop, I would love to see No Micro prioritize the defense of that T1 pad. A block comes out beautifully to send Blissey into a wall, but they just go, nope, I'm gonna take my egg, give it to my teammate. Blaster's gonna come out with the Hydro Typhoon. Snorlax's Heavy Slam is just gonna bounce off those raging waters. Hooper sends everybody back. Well, sorry, I said everybody. That's a Snorlax, but he's as big as everybody. But however, Oni's gonna come in with the KO. Talonflame takes to the sky. No Micro, not giving an inch right now.
No, and I do feel like Knight is having difficulty in this game, buddy, right now, not being able to find the picks onto Oni, not being able to find it onto Ickless right now, and that's not what you want to see. I mean, Ickless is currently left alone in this bottom pad right now. That is going to be an easy KO if they find him. Umbreon was there, but no, there we go. Finally, Knight capitalizes on it in the top lane, though. This is going to be a fight for days. There we go. The Spark full charge going in there, and they do not manage to find the KO because it is Clem on this Blastoise. The HP is there for days. All they can do is try and see if they can get away from this, but they're going to continue to spin to win and look for the KO with Leafeon coming in for the assistance. You cannot be left alone as a player on the side of MTZ because No Micro will hunt you down.
I bet Amara was just thinking, come on, man. Give it the one-on-one. He's like, Oni is playing a spoiler in all of these one-on-ones that Amara is having with Clem. But again, the Hydro Spin is a problem. Can they take them down? Clem gets sent back to the Pokemon Center to take a little bit of a rejuvenating nap. However, we've got 149, 134. We've just passed the halfway mark. Amara decides to about face because Oni is there. Here we go. Gaddy has decided to call roll, and Oni just has to back on out as quickly as possible.
Right place to be here for MTZ. Utilize that Hooper portal. They don't just yet. Looking for the CCs and the engage. There's a block, but the Hydro Typhoon is going to be absolutely massive because whilst all that's going on, they found the KO onto Knight as Classics utilizes the pressure, and now they can't even take down Clem as they back on through. Amara tries to dive through with the Unite move, buddy, but gets shut down by the Mean Look. A brilliant move from Classics. Now they lock in the objective, and MTZ, all they can do is fall one by one as they get wiped by No Micro.
We did see Knight had to pull out the Flame Sweep within that fight to secure, but then got caught by Classics in that Mean Look. That's why Umbreon is so good against these spaces, just being able to lock them down, not let Talonflame play its game. There we go. Ickless is going to get a few more of those Eon stacks. Daddy's going to start the Regieleki. They've still got the tier 1s up, which is good, which means that Hooper Highway is still functional. And there you see Daddy very protective of that tier 1 pad because it's going to allow MTZ to just rotate across the map as quickly as they can. Knight saw that buff. He looked hungry, but decided, nope, nope, nope. Not worth having to tackle a Leafeon just for a single little buff.
Yeah, rightly so. Big Beam's going to come on through here from you, but the difficulty is Gaddy is isolated in a Mean Look. Emerald two-step for days, and there's nothing that poor Hooper can do. The rip on the Regieleki is here. The zoning from Classics is brilliant. Good beam coming through from NDR, but just not enough. A little bit too early with it, and now they're going to try and break this pad before the Regieleki goes in. The block may not have helped them, because now they could go for an overcap. They get a slight one. I'd have just let that walk through.
I would have let that walk through. Maybe they wanted to defend it just to have access to that Hooper Highway. However, with the 3-minute mark being crossed, we're in the final stretch. Those tier 1s might be more of a hindrance if they decided to keep them up. Buddy, let's have a look at these levels really quick. We got Oni at level 13. Ickless just checked over to level 13 as well. Clem sitting nice and pretty on level 12. And we've got Blissey and Quasix on those level 11s. Over on the MTZ side, we've only got one level 13, which is that Talonflame. 2 level 12s, Mew and Pokémon. Level 10 Snorlax, which is not where I think Haru wants to be. However, they're very close to that level 11. And Gaddy has a level 11. Well, 5 Unite moves on deck for each team. This Groudon has shown itself. It's awoken from its slumber, and it's angry. However, it's just waiting to see who decides to test it first.
Here we go, chat. When there is a crowd on, the game is very much on. No Micro has the lead. MTZ Esports are the one that has to make an approach here, looking to see if they can find Clem, who's currently isolated in the top lane, but it's a Blastoise, and they'll take those hits for days as Oni tries to go for the retreat up into the top lane for them as well. But right now, MTZ have been so patient with this, but they're the ones that are on the back foot, and Mara looks like they want to go for a score, but already they show themselves in the bush. Does Clem? I'd have waited until they go for that score there, buddy. Right now, MDR is going to continue with the beams coming through on the side of the Mew. Icarus looking for a good KO. If they can find it there on Haru, that would be huge. The fly is going to go through, but the eject button gets out of the way. They do connect, and there's the Eon Blast as well. That gets eaten up by a power nap, though, and right now, that Snorlax has done exactly what needs to be done to take that Unite move damage and not have that as a concern later on. But we got 55 seconds here, Lobo. MTZ need to do something quick.
I mean, it seems like Emerald Two-Step was used all in that, but now we've gone from 0 to nothing as quick as we possibly can. Snorlax is going to go through the hyperspace ball to avoid any kind of damage. The Hydro Typhoon into the eject. Hooper has decided to call roll. Going to stun everything in its way. Amara is in there punching and squeezing everything that it can as well, but gets taken down by Leafeon. Leafeon gets taken down as well by the Hooper. 2 members down for each team as Mew and Hooper are left to try and decide who's going to do this round on. However, Icarus gets a KO on Gaddy, gets set back, but 40 has gone in from Haru, and MTZ Esports have taken the lead in this one. Oh my god, MDR so close, and Blissey finishes it off with a crazy slap. I don't know if that is enough. Haru only managed to score 20, but they're still scoring in that tier 1. It's broken, it's gone. I think that's going to be game 2 to know, Mark. We'll just wait to see what those stats unveil to us, but mate, what an ending to game 2.
Oh god, I love Pokemon Unite. I think they may have done it there, mate. I think they may have been able to win that game with taking those scores into that bottom pad. Difficult because I like the approach from both Haru and Gaddy. MDR, you accept the fact that you're the only 2 left alive. You've got to go score goals. You're not going to be able to do anything else. It is going to be no Micro that takes it in the final few moments. That's the only option that they had. What we needed to see was a quicker response from MTZ Esports. Go for the rip quicker. They were just a little bit too patient in that fight.
I mean, yeah, look, I think they played it well. They were taking a lot of damage. Amara going caught in that top lane with Clem and Oni coming to assist as well. The rest of MTZ Esports were trying to get back up to Amara to really help out that Pokémon. And I think that was a sign to me, Tano, Pokémon, that's probably been one of its better games that I have seen throughout it. What I would have liked to see is a little bit more Pokémon across the board, across the map, because we mostly saw Amara going head-to-head with Clem in that top path, and Clem putting up 72k damage on a tank is kind of crazy as well. But Blastoise, I think, the minute people really understand this Pokemon, and there's not a lot to understand from this Pokemon, it's just the fact that it is so good right now with Hydro Spin. I'm surprised it hasn't taken over from Snorlax as the most picked defender. I'm surprised that it hasn't taken over from Mamosine and Trevenant as well, because Blastoise, Hydro Typhoon has to be one of the most effective mid-fight Unite moves that you can pull out to really give your team the advantage and the momentum.
Yeah, I think the only thing it suffers with is how good most defenders are in this game, mate. I think it takes its rightful place as another great defender in this game. That's what happens with Blastoise. And it is one of those where you can put the support on it. You can also make it damage. You can leave it in that top lane. But realistically, it's just going to sit in with a really good role that the Pokemon Unite currently has with those defenders, mate. What I do want to talk about is that we do have a couple of people here that can play multiple roles. And I've got to say, it's so impressive. When I think of people, pro players that are good on these multiple roles, I think of Daddy Leon. Here, Oni has not only just come off from playing that Petal Dance Venusaur, being really aggressive with it and playing in that kind of like ranged attacker role. Now they're on the speedster, bro, and Oni is so flexible with what they can play, and I think that gives you so much as a team, because realistically, you can build so many different comps and have so much flexibilities that many teams find that difficult to deal with.
No, I do. I agree 100%. And again, we were talking about Leafeon's effectiveness in this game. You and I where we agree on a lot of things, but this time we don't really agree on how good, like how annoying Leafeon is. Specifically, we've come across to it. Leafeon definitely does need a nerf, in my opinion. I think all evolutions need a nerf. That is my hot take. Give them a level 5 evolution and then don't touch them. Do what you will. I've said it many times before. Give them a level 5 evolution. Keep everything fine, and there you go. Leafeon to me is a Pokemon that I expect to be doing a lot more early game hindrance. I put it in the same class as Zoroark in terms of coming out of the central area to whichever lane it goes to, the top lane or the basement lane. And I believe that it should be able to do enough damage, win that phase of the game, and then move into the enemy team's central area and continue to hinder the opposing team. However, we're not seeing that really done as much as I would like to see it done. I think Leafeon can be a lot more of a menace in the early game than we have been seeing.
Yeah, I do agree with you, mate. I think that's the benefit of Leafeon, is how much of a menace it is in those early stages. But this is the joy of Fearless Draft Buddy. So now we won't see any more Leafeon action in this game. I want to see some more speedsters coming out. I noticed the ban on the Galarian Rapidash here. Get deeper into that speedster pool. Give me some of that Gengar, bro.
I mean, I know you want to see Gengar. I don't think we've seen Gengar just yet, but you know, we always love to see our favorite Pokemon come to the forefront. Let's hope that Spartantano gets to see his beloved Ghost type. However, Galarian Rapidash is still not going to be allowed out. Blissey's going to take another place inside the Bandale, as is Slowbro, as is Suicune. Yours and I's favorite supporter is going to be picked up first. It is ridiculous to see Eldegoss come from barely being picked at all to going first in a draft. I love to see it. Gaddy's going to hover over the Clefable. Knight looking to hover over the Dragonite. However, with 8 seconds to go, they could change their minds.
I want to see it. Oh no, they go for a much more sensible pick, and it's going to be the Espeon coming out to play. Probably the least used evolution at the moment. Still very good though in its own right. Very squishy, but both Stored Power and Side Shock have got their capabilities in these games. Is very viable movesets to pick up. Right now though, what I know Micro going to answer with, because a Miraidon is a brilliant shout at this status, and it looks like Ickless was going to go for it. No, Clem's going to lock in the Buzzwole with Classics bringing out that Ho-Oh.
There's no other Pokemon that has been paired with Eldegoss more than Buzzwole has been in the Unite Fight Club here over on the INGAGE GG channel, where that is a duo made by Arceus himself. Knight is going to pick up another all-rounder, Azumarill. Ooh. As we know, Azumarill is a fan favorite down in my beloved OC region. The waters are fine. It's cool. Time to go swimming with a Peekaboo. Haru going to pick up Crosswell as well. Nice beach theme going on for the side of MTZ Esports. I absolutely love it. Ickless going to pick up my new favorite attacker right now. Shout out to Danny for, you know, inspiring me to play this Pokemon. I absolutely love it, but my God, Oni is going to resemble his namesake with that Urshifu, and that is a water bear Urshifu.
Oh, and the fans were wanting it, buddy. Amara is going to pull out the Tinkerton here. MTZ right now, they have to win this game, Lobo. No Micro are officially on match point. If they take this win, they take the set. This is a best of 5. MTZ, they have no choice but to win every game out if they want to win this.
I mean, set point, game point, match point, whatever you want to call it. MTZ Esports, we got to say it, buddy. They now have to do the most difficult thing to do in esports, and that is the reverse sweep. Best of 5, win 3, you go home. Win 2, let your opponents back into the game, and you're going to keep playing for a lot longer than you actually intended. Can't wait to see what Amara is able to cook on this Tinkerton. We saw them bring the hammer down in previous games, but Gaddy has a little bit of advantage against Oni with that speedster style Urshifu. Definitely thinking we're going to see probably Gravity come out here alongside the Moonlight. We could also see a Follow Me. However, I think Gravity is a much better instance here because you can really trap along and right you in from doing any kind of dashing around that it likes to do, as well as Haru on those rock tombs. A lot of ways for No Micro to get trapped so that Amara can swing that big old metal hammer.
Yeah, the thing is, no matter what you do, you are going to give stacks over to Amara, and they know it. They know it, bro, and that's exactly why they send it into this lane. We are going to have the Oh-Ho-Ho trying to ward off anyone going for an invade here. Looks like Buzzwole might be trying to get a little bit cheeky with it, going around for some instant stacks here for Clem.
I mean, Clem just wants to beef those muscles up, right? Haru is there, gonna stun the Buzzwole out and gonna secure that is Espeon. 16 points on the side of Espeon, and I love the fact that they've decided to go for the side shock build. Can they get another side shock coming through? But no, Buzzwole's gonna pop that eject button. I think side shock is probably one of the best builds that we can see on Espeon. I know Sword Power is good, gives you a little bit of surefire hit, a little bit of movement as well, but the Aqua Tail coming out from Knight. I love it. A lot of stun, a lot of disruption coming out from the side of MTZ.
Yeah, it's going to make it hard to duel against Knight with that Aqua Tail, buddy, and that's exactly what they're looking for. They can try and see if they can keep a little bit of range here. The difficulty is, as soon as Ickless gets online and they do manage to take down Amara there, they just need that level 5. That Raichu is going to be very hard for them to catch, and they're going to be able to drop those grenades with that Electro Ball. MDR coming in with that side shock, getting so close to Classic, uses the eject button to find it, and that is going to be so important for MTZ. We know, buddy, once you drop that side shock, you get that stun. You use the side beam to put that stun across the entirety of the team fight. Anyone else it hits, it sends that stun too. That's going to be massive for MTZ in this game.
I mean, when you're running away from a side shock, Espeon, you got to start running in zigzags sometimes when you're as big as a Ho-Oh, though. That hitbox is quite large, so Espeon kind of got free range. It's almost like hitting water when you fall out of a boat. It's absolutely a given. We got Knight back here in the bottom lane, gonna try and one down this Elder Goss. However, Oni has seen it. The two water types, they're gonna duel it out, but Buzzwole says, don't forget my muscles.
It definitely looks like they were going straight for a beeline there over to Knight as well. I want to get the blue bunny. Clem does find a Regidrago instead, and it does feel like No Micro are getting the levels that they need, but it's so close right now. MTZ have more stacks, and that might make the difference, but they are definitely trying to hunt down Knight. Yes, they've got Aqua Tail, but it's very hard to keep at a distance, and it's very hard to be the 1v1 god when there's 3 Pokemon taking you down.
I mean, Azumarill does do better in 1v1 situations, and I think No Micro know this. So anytime that they see that Azumarill, they're going to put 1 or 2 people in its way so those Aqua Tails don't hit nearly as strong as they could. Haru is hitting these beautiful Rock Tombs. Unfortunately, Sideshock unable to hit. Buzzwole just there, had to pop the eject button. Right now, we've got 44 to 66 as we cross the 7-minute mark. Those first objectives are going to spawn. But look at Amara. She's holding a big hammer and skipping her merry way down into that top lane.
Gonna get the Regieleki for No Micro, but it is all about what MTZ can do to alleviate that. They continue to score points here. If Amara can hold Ickless at that point and allow the rip to come through from the Azumarill, they will be able to get that objective because now Ickless has gone back to grab that farm. So yes, No Micro take the bottom lane. They managed to put that pressure in, but MTZ have 100% done the right thing and alleviated what has just happened.
I cannot stop smiling at the way that Tinkerton just hips and skips its way across this. I have to say, in Pokemon Unite, it has some of the best movement animations, but watch out, Oni, do not move into the bush! Gets the hammer put down on the Blue Shifu's head! The Thunderstorm Aerial's gonna come out. Amara does not care, pops the eject button, swings that hammer, but Ickless says, keep that hammer away from me.
I love how Amara had nobody else in their team with them, and they were still like, I am going for this. I am going to find a KO and go straight for Ickless, and eventually does go down. I feel like a little bit of support from the Crustle there. I think Haru could have probably allowed them to find another KO, but hey-ho, they're back at the Pokemon Center, now in the lane, wanting to go up against Ickless yet again. Amara has hit the highest level on MTZ Esports right now, and they know, buddy, all they got to do is feed Amara for this late game.
I mean, you ever seen that meme that's just like, I'ma head out? That's exactly what MTZ Esports, and I don't think Amara got the message. They probably got the message and were just like, you know what? I don't care. And they decided to go on in. Boswell is going to run away, but Tinkerton has violence in its sight. Oni is here as well, can pop the gravity to stop any of that coming out. Like the Psychic Solaire comes out as well. Urshifu's going to pop their Unite Move. Unite Moves are flying alongside that Rubble Rouser. There's the Urshifu going with those glowing fists and just managing to avoid the Aqua Tail, but Icarus is here, putting down the electric damage. There is just not enough to sustain MTZ Esports right now, and they are going to get team wiped in this bottom part.
I do feel sorry for Knight here, buddy. I think they've got to the stage where they haven't been able to snowball on this Azumarill, and right now they're going up against the Buzzwole and the Urshifu, and it's very difficult for them to deal with it because they're not really fighting them on their own. Look at the way that No Micro are rotating. It's not that often that they're coming together one-on-one, and if you do against Clem, he's just getting picked up and thrown about realistically, so it is quite tough. Going on in is Aru, looking for the Reggie steal, doesn't find it, was hoping they'd have Rubble Rouser to get the secure, but doesn't, and now No Micro are going to continue walking over the lane of MTZ Esports.
I mean, they were doing quite well. MTZ Esports were in the lead. They haven't got too much of a lead right now. We know a 182, a 72-point lead can be overturned very, very quickly in the stages of Pokemon Unite. We are hitting that. We're getting closer and closer to that final stretch. Tier 1 on the basement side, still up for the side of No Micro. You are right, buddy. I think they need to start finding in these solo battles, and I think as much as they need to support Amara, Azumarill has the ability to heal as much as it can, but not in a 2v1 situation. 1v1, Azumarill is king. Clefable and Eldegoss, Clefable and Haru doing their best to support both of their all-rounders, with MDR doing a great job surprising that Psyshock, but Icarus has found the Thunderbolt mines. They're exactly that, and so dangerous. Amara puts the hammer down and sends Icarus back to the Pokemon Center, but there is a lot going down, and I think MTZ Esports have just run out of steam at the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, I think unfortunately they've got to the stage now where No Micro have every counter possible to MTZ Esports' comp. Although I very much enjoyed Amara squishing Nicholas there and sending them back to Nurse Joy with the hammer, but it is very rough right now, and the difficulty is not only is Classic so hard to take down on this Ho-Ho, the Eldegoss is not easy to catch and constantly providing that healing, and then on the back of that you have an incredibly difficult Icarus to catch, and then a Buzzwole and an Urshifu that are comfortably at their higher levels of their power spikes, and they are not going to go down without a fight that MTZ just can't group up to go for because they don't have the damage for it.
I know, I agree with you, but however, we do see Knight on that level 13. Amara has hit level 13 as well. Espeon, the beautiful thing about evolutions, they do get both of that plus move at level 12. Also about to tick over to that level 13. Unite moves still not available for every single member. Buzzsaw missing theirs, Urshifu missing theirs, Clefable's missing theirs, and as is Haru also missing theirs. There could be a fight over this tier 1 in the basement side. They need to isolate. I think either Oni on that Urshifu need to keep them out, or they have to find a way to get on to Icarus. That belly bash coming out from Azumarill is a great way to bypass a lot of frontline if you can manage to get it on to a dashing Pokemon. 130 has passed, Groudon has spawned a very patient game. A Hondo Burger will seal it for either side. However, when it is match point, set point for the side of No Micro, MTZ Esports fighting to stay in this one.
I'm not sure about this patience though, but if this happened last game, you've got to kind of make a move. If you're not going to go for the back caps, they're already wary of that T1 goal down there. And look where Buzzwole's going. It's one of those where MTZ can't be too patient with it. If you do, you're going to leave it down to a simple rip. And right now, I put it on No Micro with their secure to find this. You're going to have to rely on MDRs for their secure, but here's the Engage. Looking to see if they can find Icarus. Good Rock Tomb comes through. Icarus gets through it though, and there's the belly bash. Looking to see the Urshifu, but the Raging Fists are going to connect on the other side. Kinkerton has found a KO onto Icarus, and they're looking for more. Oni may have been caught out, has to use the Raging Fist to get themselves out of there, but they are found by Knight. MTZ Esports with some important KOs, but Icarus is back and ready to roar thanks to the power of the Rekindling Flame, and that's enough for No Micro to take down the majority of MTZ. Now it's down to Knight and having the assistance of this Clefable, but they've got the range to keep them out, Lobo.
I mean, with 20 seconds to go, Groudon is not going to go down quick enough. Clefable is going to pop that XP. Gaddy wants to go get a score, but Clem is going to be right in their way to stop that. A very good fight by MTZ Esports. They decided to target Oni, took Oni out, has the longest KO timer that we have on the field. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. No Micro gonna take this one 3-0 in spectacular fashion. But seeing the Tinkerton, seeing the Azumarill, MTC Esports really coming up with some very, very creative comps. And I love to see it. We want to see these creative comps because we have 78 Pokemon to play now, Tano. 78 Pokemon to play. Stop choosing the same Pokemon. Give us something new to watch.
Yeah, it's a good shout to No Micro being able to get so far into it against Game 3, buddy, and they're pulling out Buzzwole, they're pulling out Raichu. Like, they've used their Pokemon pool so that they still have those very strong picks in that third game. That Buzzwole was a big issue for them to deal with. They didn't have an answer for that Buzzwole, unfortunately, because of the Pokemon that had already been used on the side of MTZ Esports. Now, having said that, every game was realistically close coming into those final few moments. Of course, you only win Pokemon Unite by scoring points, Lobo, and the points were very close between them in all 3 games. It all came down to that one Groudon fight, and unfortunately, by that stage, No Micro had the much better team fight capability.
And look, let's not take anything away from either team. MTZ had the onus put on them. No Micro knew exactly what they were doing. They were 100 points to the good. They had one tier 1 up. We saw Oni defending the tier 2 most of that Groudon fight. All of the onus was on, it was on MTZ Esports to make the first play. And again, you have to consider it. With a Pokemon like Azumarill, you have to find your 1v1s. We saw Clefable was helping. We saw MDR was helping Espeon. It took 3 members to take Oni out, and they nearly got away. We saw Amara go in. They put the hammer down, but this is the problem with Rekindling Flame. It just brings everybody back. However, Oni was just outside of the range of Ho-Oh to bring them back. So they still managed to do it, and unfortunately, they just let the time run out because they knew MTZ Esports had run out of gas in the tank. So smart play, game decisioning, smart game management, all in all for No Micro. But what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to manage our time, because if we have another set of 5 to watch after this one, our voices are going to be completely gone. So Tano and myself are going to take ourselves a little break. We'll get the next game set up for you guys. Another best of 5 and a debutant to the UFC. Don't go anywhere. Grab yourselves a snack, grab yourselves a drink, and we'll be right back.
like to play. Complete the missions and then you get gift cards. You can redeem the points for gift cards. It's literally as simple as that, and it is just a brilliant way for creators to not only earn on the games that they could already be playing, but also to earn from your community as they play the games for you or with you. So as you can see, this is as simple as it gets. You'll log in, you'll choose a game, you'll see the missions for that game, and then you will be able to do those and earn the point that you can redeem to gift cards. And of course, if you are a viewer rather than a creator, you can redeem to support a creator following this. So let's get stuck into it. So as you can see, it's literally just grabtap.com, grabtap.com, and you'll click this lovely button here that says Start Now. That will open up multiple different login or sign up options that you want to take. I signed up with Twitch because why wouldn't I? So I'm going to take that one right here. So here we are, this is my screen. I'm currently signed in and it tells me the games that I can pick up and play here. From what you can see, I can also join another community using this button if there's somebody else's community that I want to be a part of. But this is me right now. These are the games that I currently have on offer that I'm able to earn from. Now let's say that we want to play Star Trek Fleet Command. We would click on this and then we would install the game onto either the device that we're currently using or onto our mobile, for example. It says here what the options are. You can play it on PC, you can play it on Apple, you can play it on Android. And these are the total points that you can earn for this game. And that is a massive amount, by the way, guys. As you scroll down, you'll see the missions and what you need to do to be able to get those points. It's incredibly easy. It tells you exactly what you need to do, but also you get bonus points for any kind of money that you spend in the game. So not only are you what you need from the game, but you're also getting points. Incredibly good. And it'll also tell you the requirements on this right hand side. Biggest one is usually that you must not have a VPN on because it needs to be able to track on the devices, and you should not switch devices whilst you are playing. And then once you've played these missions and you have got your points, you can go to the rewards menu and claim your rewards. Now if we had a look at Star Trek Fleet Command, that was over 200,000 points that you could get from playing that. And look at that, $50 gift card for 50,000 points. You can get plenty of those. And it is pretty amazing. You can see all the different options that you've got, from Twitch, Just Eat, to Amazon, to debit cards and everything like that. A brilliant way for you to earn whilst you game, as well as being able to get yourself some gift cards and your community being able to support you. Now you can head to your dashboard up in this top right hand corner, and this will tell you what you've earned from your community. Of course, I've signed in just now. I haven't used it just yet. Looking forward to doing so. But you can see some of the different games that they've had in the past down this list. It's really, really useful. And as I say, it's not just about a creator like me. You can swap back to player mode, and it's all about what you play and what you earn from the games that you have the options to have a go at. For example, I was already thinking of playing Marvel Strike Force, so I could have a look at that and earn myself 154,000 points. Pretty huge for me to then be able to go and redeem a gift card from. This website is incredibly easy to use. As I've shown you, you literally just sign in from one of the multiple options that you've got, and then you just head to the game screen as normal, pick whatever game you want to play, and once you pick that game up, you can see it in your missions menu for the game that you will be playing. So that's it, guys. It's as quick and as simple of a rundown as I can give you, because it's a very simple website to use and a very simple way for you to earn money, not only for yourself, but for your community as well. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you back on the games. Welcome back, Europe. Boy, do we have a beauty for you. Los Caracados are going to be taking the stage for the first time.
I mean, I'm super excited to see Los Caracudos play, everybody. We've seen them play throughout other tournaments. We've seen them play. We've seen the specific players play, and they're a very, very strong team. But so is Guerrilla Tactics. Guerrilla Tactics have put on show after show after show. Again, they've got different maneuvers, different tactics, and because of Fearless Draft, they are forced to have a different comps that we have to deal with. This one is going to be interesting. I have a feeling I'm going to put the Lobo luck guarantee down on this one, that we are going to go to a full 5 games with this one, with Los Caracuros' debut, because, you know, I'm just a little bit of a gambling man, and I want to see 5 games of incredible Pokemon Unite action.
Me too. I honestly think, looking at this current state of EU Pokemon Unite, I think here we have probably 2 of the top 4 teams in EU right now, bro. That is currently in this off season. Guerrilla Tactics have been very impressive. Los Caracuros are already a top 4 team in the EU region, coming back together here for their first game of the Unite Fight Club. This is going to be the best of the best. And if you want to check those stats out, if you want to check fact me, bro, go onto that website, playunite.pro, and you can see all the information on the players, how they're performing, and even graded. And I think this is the biggest thing. It is individual grades, chat. So whilst these players might lose their game, MTZ, for example, they may have lost that set, but the players are going to be graded individually. So Amara may come out of that with a very good grade because they played their role correctly. Haru or someone like that may come out of it because they've done their job. It's just a shame that they lost the game. And I think that's the biggest important thing to mention here, Lobo, because these grades are very individual.
I mean, that was the whole point of the UFC from its conception, is the fact that we wanted to highlight the individuals on these teams as well as the actual team. So the great thing about the website is not only can you see the teams, the individual rosters on the teams, you can actually get involved and comment on each individual player's board and get in touch with your favorite players and talk to them. And we're encouraging the players to do just that. Reach out, talk to each other, open the discussion so that we can actually see what's going on. Whether you just want to say, hey, how you doing? You want to go over to Amara's page and just be like, I like the way you put that hammer down. Nobody puts the hammer down like you do. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go comment that right now after we finish this next set of games. But like we said, everyone gets a rank. Everyone gets a grade. I think so far the highest rank we've got is a B, but we are going to be implementing the A and the S tier ranks as well. I mean, it's a ranked tier list, essentially. You can't not have an A grade. You can't not have an S grade. But unfortunately, you can have an E grade as well. And these players are hoping that they don't get one of those. And again, it's not to be malicious. It's not to be anything else like that. These grades are being performed by professionals, by pro players in the scene as well. We have a panel of incredible professionals that are ranking these players. It is just a fun new way to look at Pokemon Unite. And you know, in every sport, it's done this way as well. Everyone's given a rank, everyone's given a stats. Tano and I have played FIFA before, and you know what? We always look for those players that have an 87 or higher ranking in the transfer window. So that's what these players are going to be looking at, and it's a great way to highlight individual players. And throughout all the way time that you and I have done this, we've found some individual players that we absolutely love watching, that we keep our eye on the entire time. And, you know, it's so much fun the way that this is evolving, and we're getting to know this EU region better and better and better and better.
That we are, buddy. I've been casting Pokemon Unite now for about 2 years, as of you, Lobo, and it's been, you know, you get to know the EU region and the players anyway, but this off-season has been my favorite yet. I have been covering every area of the EU region, but I have got to know, and you have got to know, some really big players in this region and see them grow and improve. I mean, we've had Danny in the chat earlier. I love the way Danny plays on those ranged attackers. One of my favorites has come out from the EUL and here in the Unite Fight Club is seeing players like that, Tibby, Cascade, these kind of players coming out and putting in such a fantastic show. Bider Pig, just some to name. They come to my mind straight away when I think of good players in certain roles, because of how much we've been casting them and how much we've been seeing them come together as an individual on their teams and really rise up, mate. So it's kind of a pleasure and a privilege to be on this mic with you and casting these players in this game that we both love.
I mean, you are an EU native as well. You live over there in the EU region. I am in OS. However, EU is slowly becoming my home away from home, if you will. And I absolutely love all the players that I get to watch. They're all such nice people, whether they comment on Twitter, whether they talk in chat, whether they show up to play these games and just have a very, very positive attitude towards the entire thing. This experience is just the way I believe Pokemon Unite should go moving forward. It's just the way the community should be. However, you know what? It's not all fun and games. It is competitive. It is the Fight Club. We're hoping to knock each other out, essentially, with that. And before we do, we're going to get these teams straight up. Like we said, it is Los Caracuros going up against Guerrilla Tactics. Now, we know Los Caracuros, but we do know Guerrilla Tactics quite well, and one of the most popular players on Guerrilla Tactics is the Gorilla Daddy himself, Daddy Leon. We can't wait to see what they are going to bring. But Tano, let's talk about the Unite roster very quickly. Never mind. We're not going to talk about the Unite roster at all. We're going to go straight into game number one. Guerrilla Tactics, your purple side. Los Caracuros, your orange side.
I'm very excited for this one, buddy. These two teams are so good. Some of my favorite players. I've already mentioned how I love the flexibility of a lot of these players. Daddy Leon is the king of flexibility, having top UCS records on literally every role you can think of in Pokemon Unite, and they're coming up against Los Caracados that everybody knows they have been a staple in EU Pokemon Unite. So this is going to be the best fight we're going to see yet.
I'm so excited. As we get started with the bans, this is going to be banned off. I think they need to nerf the little egg. I don't know about you. That egg is too much of a problem. However you like your egg, cracked, scrambled, sunny side up, or poached, that egg is a problem when it gets to the field. Polmont, Suicune, and Alolan Raichu not going to be allowed to hit the field. Cherry King hovering. Oh, I'm so excited to see a Ninetales. But Daddy Leon, excuse me, what are you doing on a Hooper, my friend?
I'd imagine they're picking it up for a swap, buddy. But you never know. As I said, very capable of playing any role. But right now, let's see what Los Caracados are going to do to respond to this Charizard we do not see any of anymore. But in the Fearless Draft setting, could be a good shout. Leo is going to pick up the Buzzwole off the gates, and it's going to be the Blastoise coming out for Rops here. So they've already got a good core of their team set up here.
Yeah, I agree. Leo wants that Buzzwole, such a big problem. And also, having access to that Blastoise, we know, especially with that Hydro Spin, Buzzwole is one of the biggest counters to the Hydro Spin Blastoise that we have seen. Tibby's going to pick up the Raid Boss Venusaur. However, with the eject button and the focus ban, I'm thinking that's going to be a Venusaur coming through to the game. Kree is going to put down the Umbreon. Now, I love the combination play between Umbreon and a Venusaur, whether you decide to mean look them, hold them in place, and just beam their face off. That is exactly what Guerrilla Tactics are hoping to achieve in this one. Ayame-chan is going to pick up the very, very elegant Eldegoss alongside the bewitching Firefox.
I like this. We've been seeing a lot more Delphox coming onto Fire Sky Ruins, but of course, extra areas of experience and Flame Charge makes it incredibly hard to catch in the late game. And looking at the late game, Los Caracados are trying to have a nice balance of it here, with Leo being on that Buzzwole, good for the early. Dodrio comes out for Guerrilla Tactics. I was having a conversation with Gatlu yesterday, and he was saying how he just hasn't seen much Dodrio played at all anymore. Well, Guerrilla Tactics are here making that change, with Cherry King locking in the Greninja. They have got a lot of squish, but a lot of damage coming to Las Caracados.
Jose looking to, they were hovering over a pseudo speed, so we are seeing Leafeon come through. That's an interesting point that you made, Tano. Speedsters, after we had that speedster meta where they had the defense penetration stat and ultimately taken away from them, they came into the meta very, very high quick. However, we have seen speedsters slowly come out of the meta. Darkrai was very popular, especially putting everybody to sleep. Leafeon still very prominent. I want to say Zeraora. Zeraora? Yeah, Zeraora and Zoroark. Zoroark has its niches paired with a Comfey. Zeraora is still the tricky speedsters that people pull out in those very specific situations. Dodrio had a lot of play, especially with tri-attack and jump kick, and I love seeing it get played. I especially got to watch the EUL earlier in this week. Aggressive Dodrio plays are always very, very fun to watch. We are going to see this game take off. It's game one. These comps are looking very strong right now. All eyes for me going to be on Chari King on that Greninja, because we know Greninja has every possibility to pop off when it gets going.
I love Greninja, buddy. What I do also love is that I just witnessed Tibby change the items on that Venusaur, and now we are going to have Petal Dance, Giga Drain, Raid Buffs Venu coming out, and it's going to be Tibby, of course. You know, they're going for that. They're the all-rounder player, bro. Of course, they're going to be doing that, and I like it. I like that coming up. You don't need the double range against the comp that they currently have on Los Caracaras.
No, you don't. Exactly. You need to be able to chase down that Delphox. And when you've got a Venusaur spinning and pedaling its way towards you, that Delphox is going to be flame charging backwards with the hot feet that it has. As we've got an early engage, Squirtle is going to try and put some damage on its fellow aquatic starter. Eevee is going to steal away some farm from a Bertilo on that Fennekin. Fennekin, I think, on this map, buddy, it has come to the forefront. Jose gets that quick evolution to Eevee as they cut me off from what I'm saying, but gets stunned away by Daddy Leon.
Ooh, Jose already early here with the Leafeon, but can they find the KO they're looking for? Dives into Tibby, manages to get the passive at least, gets a stack in as well, but they're getting pretty weak now, buddy. The stun is here. There goes Dodrio. It's going to be Tibby that finds the KO, and that is so important for Guerrilla Tactics, because now they have the pressure they can put on in this top lane, and they need to stop Leo hitting that level 5.
I love the fact that we're seeing Daddy Leon flex pick on it to Hooper as well. This is an absolutely wonderful. We talked about it before. Just so many options that these players can play. Oh my god, Dodrio almost getting caught by the big beefy hands of the Buzzswole. Leafeon is down in that bottom pane. Umbreon, tanky as usual, but not in the face of Jose and that Leafeon.
Alrighty, so out of the gates, Los Caracaras are going to get themselves a couple of stacks, but Guerrilla Tactics finds all the KOs that they're looking for. Level 5 now on the Buzzwole in the top lane, so they're now going to be able to put that pressure down, but Guerrilla Tactics beginning to dominate this bottom lane, buddy. And this is Yomidu, by the way, on the Dodrio, and they are the ones that are putting the pressure on to Los Caracaras straight away, looking to steal this farm away.
John Madu, another one of our favorite players from the side of Guerrilla Tactics. They've just decided to swap roles with Daddy Leon for this game, which is a flex in and of itself. Jose's going to try and go in and try and take down their fellow speedster, but Hooper's going to send everybody back before Leo can punch the ground that everybody stands on. That Regidrago might just go to the side of Los Caracaras, but if Tibby had something to say about it, those leaves would have gotten there before Jose's did. Now we're still back to stalemate, 36-9. 7:40 on the clock. Not too much action, but a lot of interestingness going on in this match.
Yeah, I mean, they do want to clash whenever they get chance to, buddy, but they got to get this experience as the speedsters are going to go at it once again. Jose versus Yomidu. That is an absolute pleasure. 7:20 is about to come on in. Jose has stayed here while Dodrio went back to that home pad. Not even looking for the farm. They were looking for the KOs, but they get pushed away as Tibby drops a huge amount of damage on them, and John is making themselves very difficult to catch. But Los Caracaras, they kind of have to back up with that without getting much out of it, Lobo.
I mean, Bertilo has evolved into that Fennekin. Sorry, not Fennekin. Fennekin is the little baby one. This is the big witch, Delphox. Bertilo is just going to take off and do all the damage to the red ice. It's going to be taken as in the bottom side. I don't know how quickly Jean Madu got there. Then I just realized that Hooper sent them down. They're going to break this tier 1. The poison is going to enable that Timmy to survive on that pad, and then just in the face of that Leafeon, Emerald two-step. Jose said, I'm sick of you. Just go back to Nurse Joy, will ya? And now they're going to take some points away from that tier 2 on the top side.
I am quite surprised that Tibby has still gone for the beam here, buddy, because, yeah, with the build that they had the scarf on, they got the full heal on. Maybe they were just wanting to try and get those boosted through and knew that Los Caracaras were going to be on them with not only the Leafeon, but the Delphox as well. So right now, though, good response by Los Caracaras. Now we have 3 points between them. Looking at the levels, though, they have the advantage as Leafeon has just hit level 10.
Leafeon is so good at getting levels early. Dodrio goes down to the Blastoise. Again, I haven't seen fully what Rops is playing on that Blastoise. I'm going to assume that it is the Hydro Spin. We've got 2, 3 Unite moves on the side of Los Catacuras. Only 1 on the side of Guerrilla Tactics with 3 points between them. Like you mentioned before, Boswell is going to deal with that poison and the beam. But Tibby sees the big bug Lumen and decides to back it on up. Fanciful Fireworks going to be put on this tier 1 on the bottom side.
Fanciful Fireworks is such a great Unite move, buddy, for this very reason. You can use it offensively as you can with the Emerald 2-step. Doesn't manage to find the KO though onto Chari King. Looking for Kree. Chari is back, trying to find Jose. The beam comes through. What a Shuriken is absolute over KO to find it. Leo responded with the Ultra Swole Slam. Third and anger combo with the beam as well as Ayame is running. Bertolo is not going to be easy to catch, and unfortunately Tibby just can't find the KO with the beam.
Los Catacuras have increased their score lead, heading on past the halfway point. There's 5 minutes to go until the second batch of Reggies, and Tibby wasn't even waiting. That beam was lock loaded and ready to go before Regieleki even spawned. Boswell using those muscles to great effect, putting Chari King under wraps. Jose's going to come and help out, make sure Leo doesn't get sent back to the Pokemon Center. Level 10 is still going to give away a decent amount of experience, but Los Catacuras very happy with what they're seeing in the top part, because that is a Registeel.
Oh, big buff for Los Catacuras, and they can use that in the next team fight, but they're going to have that for a minute and a half here. What are they going to do with it, though? Do they want to go for an approach? It looks like Jose does want to do exactly that, although not the Pokemon they want to see in this central area. Daddy Leon was just the bait, bro, and they get sent back to Nurse Joy.
Insert meme of 2 people leaning back and saying, damn, because he just missed that Emerald 2-step completely. And Guerrilla Tactics decided, well, we're going to absolutely capitalize on that. The Hydro Spin is here. We're going to be taken out. They're going to get sent all the way back to Nurse Joy, but just briefly. However, Daddy Leon says, I'm going to go unbound and cause some problems for y'all. Fanciful Fireworks is going to get in the way, but that is a Chari King that goes bypass it to try and take down the Delphox. However, the Flame Charge does keep Delphox back and alive. Leafeon popping that X attack, and Leo trying to pick up anything with those big muscles, the Shadow Clones, juking away from Jose.
That fight symbolizes what we've seen from both these teams, buddy. Guerrilla Tactics start dominating, but then Los Catacuras have a brilliant defense, utilizing the fanciful fireworks, and then just the good combo of Buzzwole, Leafeon to find the KOs, and Guerrilla Tactics then have to back up. And right now, levels are pretty even. We do have a level 13 on that Greninja, but points-wise, Los Catacuras have taken the lead. They're just missing the Registeel buff now. It couldn't be closer between these two teams.
I mean, these two teams have faced each other a lot. Whatever teams they have been a part of, these 10 players have duked it out across the EU region for years and years. Well, as long as Pokemon Unite hasn't been a thing, they know each other so well. We see them always being so aggressive in these games and just making sure that they want to take each other out. That Regieleki is incredibly low, but Delphox is being guarded off by this Umbreon. Dodrio is going to take it, and it's going to march towards that tier 2. 20 seconds. We're in the final stretch. Groudon's about to spawn. Jose looking for it to make a few problems for the rest of Guerrilla Tactics, but a Regirock not too shabby heading on in to that Groudon fight. But what are you doing, Chari King?
Oh, bro, I thought Chari was going to get that. It was 1 HP in a dream. They thought they'd locked it in, but right now they're looking to see if they can find Leo. What a great effort from Jarmidu, using the jump kit to get over them and stun them just for a final moment. They do manage to get away. Guerrilla Tactics has the advantage right now, but they are the ones that are currently behind, so they have to do something with this, knowing Buzzwell's going to have to come back to this fight, and they haven't capitalized on it in any way, shape, or form.
It's a 30-point lead that Los Catacuras have. It can easily be overturned when the red class spawns, but look at where Jose is. Your sneaky little leaf about to go in and try and dunk a 50. Again, ripping Groudon is not the most optimal play that you got. Can we get a beam? Get off the screen, and Jose gets stopped. That's exactly what Timmy wants to do. Jose's not happy with that. Has to pop the Emerald 2-step from off our screen, and the fight has started.
Oh, bro, Moonlight Prance is going to come out from Kree, but they just run into the Razor Leaf of Jose. And now, Guerrilla Tactics have lost their beam. They've lost their tank. There's the fanciful fireworks. You do see Shuriken coming in, looking for the secure, but it's going to be Los Catacombs that finds it. Leo cleans up the rest of Guerrilla Tactics with one frog left to defend the world. Los Catacombs are going to score enough points to take game one.
I mean, with 40 seconds on the clock, there's still, I was about to say there's still 100 points between this, but now it has been surmounted to 220 points, 16 points. My Quiff Mac never fails me when I try it to do it. However, 24 seconds left to go. Those 100 burgers rain in. Game one is going to be all said and done. Fanciful fireworks on the home pad for good measure. Bertolo, you cheeky one.
I love Pokemon Unite because we're now going to see this scoreboard, buddy, and it's going to look like Los Catacados has absolutely dominated Guerrilla Tactics, but they simply didn't. There was about 15 points between these two teams as we came into that ground-on fight. A brilliant approach from Jose to try and go score that 50. Tibby with a brilliant defense, and Jose was like, nah, bro, you don't do that to me. That's disrespect. And they go and find the KO, which enables them to collapse around Guerrilla Tactics and win that first game.
The fact that we knew exactly what was going to happen, we actually had to watch on the mini map, and we just saw the notification come up. We saw Tibby hit that beam, and Jose just stood there for a minute, and it almost, you could see the look on Leafeon going, who dares? Who dares hit me with a beam? They went and they found the direction that Tibby was in. A single Emerald two-step was enough to send the Froggy Boy right back to Nurse Joy. And then Jose comes back into the fight and deals the rest of the damage. But impressive 84k coming out from Jose, but Birdie Low with the 90k and the 22k damage taken.
I gotta say though, the Dodrio was great from Jean Midou, and I want some more of that, bro, because the Dodrio is now taken out because it's Fearless Draft. But what I like about it is that they've used that speedster first, and they've got even more stronger speedsters that they can pull out if they need to. Leafeon's not being used there. Absol is still there. Zorax, Zeraora. So I like this from Guerrilla Tactics. But Los Catacados in their very first game here in the Unite Fight Club, making an absolute statement with that combo at the ground-on fight.
I mean, that's what you do at the UFC. We don't talk about the UFC sometimes when we're not doing the UFC. It's a hush-hush secret that's not very secret, but what you want to do is definitely knock somebody out on your first attempt, and they did a fantastic job in a game one. Guerrilla Tactics, one of the stronger teams that we do have competing in the UFC. They have put up some impressive performance, but Los Catacudos, again, we have seen all 10 of these players. They have been around for a decent amount of time. They have been UCS competitors. They have been competing throughout in official tournaments as well as a lot of grassroots tournaments. Like you said, we have spent the majority of our time covering the EU region. You and I, you are the face of the EU region. I just sit here and make you look pretty. But you know what? It's so fun to watch these players because you can see that even though they're on the opposite team, they have this history with each other. They want to fight each other. They want to outdo each other. And I love the fact also that we got a role swap almost with John Madure and Daddy Leon. We talked about it again. How does Unite get more exciting for you? How do you become a better player? Go and play a Pokemon that you do not play. A support player or a defender player, a tank player, stepping into the role of a speedster or attacker, they have to understand how that player plays, which is only going to make their tank play and their supporter play even more impressive, even more telepathic communication that they don't need to waste time saying words to their teammate. They just know what their teammate is going to do. And I absolutely love seeing it because we've seen Guerrilla Tactics play many weeks so far because we've been doing this UFC for quite some time, Tano. And seeing them evolve in this way is so fascinating. But Los Catacudos putting up a statement on their debut.
What I do like is Guerrilla Tactics sticking to their name, buddy, because not only is, Jean-Mi-Du there on the speedster rather than the support they're so used to playing, but they also changed their name so you can't see that it is Jean-Mi-Du coming into that fight, buddy. So they're kind of throwing a little bit of tactics out there. Who is this mysterious speedster player? Although, when they're in lobby, I'm sure they can see Jean-Mi-Du's name, but for us, we're like, who is this speedster player? And then it turns out it's usually the support for Guerrilla Tactics.
We've also said Jean-Mi-Du's name about 20 times in the last 2 minutes. They're probably watching this stream go and be like, can you stop saying my name? Like, it's supposed to be a secret, guys. Come on.
I was on an interview with them yesterday as well with Danny, and I forgot to ask because what I want to know is how to properly pronounce their name, because I want to make sure we're doing it right. You've got I think it's Jean-Mi-Du. But I also say Jean-Mi-Du too many times because, I'm English and we butcher names. That's what we do, bro. But I'm thinking of, Star Trek and Jean-Luc Picard. So I'm like, Jean-Mi-Du would make sense.
I mean, I just assume me with the Aussie, I'm too relaxed with everything. So I say a name very, very slowly. So Jean-Mi-Du. And of course, I had to try. It always sounds French when it comes out of my mouth. But, that's enough yapping from us. We're going to get to the proper yapping, which is the casting that you guys are here to see. Well, you're not here to see us. You're here to see the players. Hooper, Clefable, Sweetgrin, and Boswell are going to be your band. Daddy Leon is going to stay on the supporters with Big Daddy Blissey. I'm not saying that again. Cannot make me, Tano.
Bro, I think I'm with you. I don't want you to say that again. Let's leave. Bertolo is going to pick up the Alolan Raichu. Rops on the Snorlax. Kree is going to bring out the Mama Swine. And we've got to, we talk about it all the time, buddy. Defenders are so set and comfortable in this meta. Probably Gudra is realistically the only one we don't see, as well as Greedent, but that's kind of a bit different. It's more like a nuisance, isn't it? So outside of that, every defender is very playable within this meta.
I agree with you 100%. And again, these are the two defenders that we're seeing at the top of the echelon when it comes to meta picks. Also Umbreon as well. But I feel like when it comes to displacing and disruption of an entire enemy team, the Unite moves from Snorlax and Mamoswine are so good at doing exactly that. They give those defenders a little bit more tankiness. You can pop those Unite moves when you think you've got a defender on the rope, and boom, they're back up to full health, or they've got some shields, and they're even more of a menace to take down. As we think of menaces to take down, Guerrilla Tactics have just decided to make it Los Catacudos' problem from now on, because Tibby on that Serena, the queen's come to play. She's going to make everybody bend that knee.
Rightly so. Tibby is so impressive on this Serena. Guerrilla Tactics are really pulling out the stops in this game too. They don't want to go 2-0 down. Los Catacados are going to answer with Jose taking their Greninja here and trying to see. I would not expect a Greninja to be picked in game 1 and game 2, buddy, but I love it. I want more of it. I like the secure from the Water Burst Shuriken, and I'm loving that people are running the Water Shuriken on that build.
It's almost like it just has to be. You see your opponent play Greninja in game number 1. It's almost like Jose's just gone, well, I'm going to do it now. And then see if they can do it better. And it's almost just a game of one-upsmanship. We're talking also about Leo on the Gyarados. Now, Gyarados is not a Pokemon that I think we have seen too much of. It was very good when it came out. However, the nerfs did hit it quite hard. Magikarp requiring a lot more effort to climb that waterfall. Not a lot of effort. However, on this Groudon map, the experience and the farm is there. If Magikarp is able to do what it does best, use that flail, use that flash, just keep moving about. But what the most important thing when it comes to Magikarp is that tactic is so easily read. You're almost expecting that central laner to go into the Magikarp lane to try and get it online as quickly as possible. Urshifu's going to take the central lane. I thought Greninja was going to take a central lane, just making some interesting movements there on the mini map. But as with any Urshifu, you cannot have an Urshifu without an invade.
And it doesn't get any better for an invade than a Snorlax or a Ho-Ho, and that Rops is going to go in on the Snorlax here, manages to steal the blue aura away, accepts the fact that that's what they're going to get, and wants to come down here to see if they can punish Cherry King. They are pretty weak, but makes the wise decision to stay away from Kree, because Swinub is very difficult to handle.
At what point when you play Urshifu, you just expect that you are going to get invaded? I feel like 95% of the time, we are seeing Urshifu's poor little Cubfoos get invaded, but this is exactly what I wanted to see Jose do. That effort gauge is already half filled, which is what I was mentioning before. The experience is so good, and with the aggressiveness of these players, there goes Jose trying to get the KO, which have let that magic cup evolve.
Yeah, that would be massive if they can find that. It's getting there with the effort meter right now, though. Sean Badu putting their pressure onto Los Caracados and trying to let TV get a 15 dunk, and it does. So does the 17. Yami, unfortunately, is left to defend this by themselves as Magikarp desperately tries to get back into that lane, but still, no effort meter hitting that Gyarados level just yet, buddy. That's what you would hope for your team, because the power spike is off the charts as they're looking to see if they can find Charikin. The serve comes through, Timmy won't find it, and that's going to be a huge KO for Guerrilla Tactics.
And this is a problem when Urshifu, especially when Waterbear gets on board. This is something that Birdilo has to be very careful of. It can get chased down even with all the dashes that it has available to it. Now, Snorlax is in a bit of a problem. There's time to get revenge for stealing that initial blue buff in the early stages of this game. That Ice Fang has hit every single time. That felt personal.
Good stage to be at with the Pillar Swan right now, but just under that 8-minute mark. They want to find those extra levels and get Mama Swan as soon as possible. Reggie Drago is going to help them with that as it's taken by Guerrilla Tactics, and this is going to be where the game can level out right now. 720 is about to come on in. They've got the Serena online. Gyarados here for Los Caracados, but look at the level difference, buddy. Waterfall's going to come out from Leo, trying to escape from the clutches. That is Tibby, and unfortunately, he's unable to do so.
Unfortunately, the Queen does take down the Gyarados in the bottom path. Guerrilla Tactics doing a good job defending. Jose is dangerously low health. The Electro Ball does find him in that bush, looking for the Solar Beam as well, but the Shadow Clones able to manage to get Greninja out of some hot water. We got 6 seconds until the first Reggies decide to spawn, and now we're going to see what they roll. Regieleki is the popular Reggie of choice.
Now I don't know whether I'm being lied to in the chat or by production. Apparently, it could be Snow that is currently playing for Guerrilla Tactics. We'll never know, buddy. But right now, what we do know is that Guerrilla Tactics is going to get this Regieleki uncontested, breaking that T1 pad. That's going to put pressure onto this T2, and we have an entire minute and a half before the springboard is online for Los Caracados, so they could really try and punish this, but instead, they want to make a rotation through this central area, go and grab the top Reggie buff, and even break this pad.
Buddy, as if it is hard enough for us to remember all of the moves that Pokemon use, all of the Unite moves that they use, the objective timing, the farm on the field, but now we have to know if the players that we are watching are actually the players that we're watching. As we see, the egg bombs are going to try and stun Jose out of anything. There's the Water Burst Shuriken. It's going to come in alongside the Water Shurikens as well. Serena's just going to stomp her way. These boots are made stomping, and that's just what they'll do. The Thunder Force Arrow is going to put a little bit of damage on, but the coaching does help with the healing. The Electro Ball does get the B-Execute coming out with the Bliss Assistance. Urshifu is moving like water and grooving to their own tune. 3 KO streak for what we believe is Jean Mardua, but might be Snow.
Thinking about it, it makes much more sense that it's Snow, because Snow is 100% the speedster player, a carry player. So that would make a lot more sense for Jinmadu being the support player here for Guerrilla Tactics, and why Daddy Leon is probably playing support, mate. So I think we can probably accept the fact that it is actually Snow, and apologies for misnaming you, Snow. We had false information.
I mean, we had no idea what we were doing. We were just excited to see whatever we were excited to see. But what we are excited to see is 293 to 57 on the clock. 5 minutes have gone in game number 2. Guerrilla Tactics, after losing that game 1, have stepped it up another gear. They've shifted into turbo. If you know, you know. But we're going forward with this one. The Queen sitting at a nice level 12 alongside that Earthstream. Just kicked over level 13. The Queen has to get on out of there. Use those boots for running, but it's just not going to be enough. Targeted by that Dragon Current from Jose.
Door finally opened a little bit for Los Caracados here as they score more points, but so does Guerrilla Tactics. We are just under the mid-game right now. Bottom Reggie is up. Top Reggie buff about to spawn on in. Daddy Leon is going to go down. And I gotta say, this Gyarados, we've been seeing difficulty with that Pokemon recently. Oh my god, Mamoswan's gonna hold up 4 of them here, but he uses the Mammoth Mask. He's trying to see if they can get out of that there. They try and get out, but they get shut down by the Snorlax, and they do put up a good effort. And now, right now, Guerrilla Tactics has the advantage down in this bottom lane. Timmy's going to go after the Twinly Ascendants, but they get KO'd before they capitalize off this buddy. So not enough having that Unite move up just yet. As they go in with the Water Shuriken here as well. Los Caracados trying to hold up the fight, but Guerrilla Tactics are too strong, and they find the KO.
I think that's such a smart play there by, I believe it's Kree on that Mamoswan to actually pull the fight away. It was actually Snorlax, the defender on the side of Los Caracados, that decided to chase down Mamoswan, which meant Snorlax was the furthest Pokemon behind when Los Caracados tried to engage into that fight to secure over the Regieleki. So they didn't have their defender for a lot of that, no access to that block, so just bounce the enemy team away and keep their attackers alive. Smart play by Guerrilla Tactics, specifically by the defenders. Once again, these attacks and defensive plays are built off these supporters and defenders.
They are the backbone of Pokemon Unite, buddy. Regice is going to be taken here by Guerrilla Tactics, uncontested. As Los Caracados looks like they're going to try and slowly rotate up with Bertolo, but recognizes they're not going to get that in time. And now they have to go back into their central area and see what they can take. Guerrilla Tactics has everything on their side right now. Level 14's on the field. They've got the points. It's all down to Los Caracados to find an answer in these final few moments of this game.
Final stretch has been engaged. 40 seconds till Groudon spawns. Jose and Birdie Load was looking to show aggression here. Maybe looking to score into that tier 2, bring those scores a little bit closer together. Right now, they're sitting just under 200 points, about 289 points. Don't check my math. I mean, I don't know if I'm correct, but I am just going to assume that I am. With 15 seconds left to go, Kree is in a very advanced position, avoiding the Dragon Breath, but gonna pick up the Ice Fang, and oh my days! Gyarados goes down to half health in quick succession.
They want more as well here, but he is pre-dived in again. They do manage to get the Alchemy Unite, but that's absolutely massive for them here. Dragon Crew is going to come out. Not sure who they want to go on. Ends up putting a little bit of damage onto Timmy, but the Blitz assistance is going to come through from Daddy Leon, and that's enough to keep Timmy on their feet and find the KO onto the Water Dragon. Guerrilla Tactics have just pummeled Los Caracados back to their T2 goal, and Timmy's going to stay here. They've set up the campsite. This is where they now belong, as Guerrilla Tactics takes the crowd on. And right now, the mountain is too high for Los Caracados to climb, and Guerrilla Tactics looks like they're going to take us to a tied game.
Such a smart play by Tibby. They knew that the rest of the team backed up. They had the rip on their side. Just keep the 2 Pokemon are left alive on the side of Los Caracados busy so that they can secure the Groudon completely unabated. 4, 4, 5, 4, 9, 7, 5, 9, 7, 6, 1, 9, 6, 2, 5, 7, 2, 5, 7, 3, 7. I am just counting and saying numbers because that scoreline just keeps going up.
That it does, and that means we will go to the game 3 with them both being tied 1 point each. Not enough change on the field for Los Caracados to pull this one back right now. And I gotta say, what a brilliant effort and a brilliant engage from Guerrilla Tactics. The second Kree went in, that was it. They were sold, they were throwing it all in at that moment, and it worked for them like an absolute treat.
I feel like Kree said, let's make a deal, and he picked up the closest Pokemon that he could find. It was the Gyarados. Very surprised that Gyarados was able to survive that, probably popping a full heal or a potion, and then just waterfalling their way out. But Kree not going to be undone at this time round, stealing that Groudon buff right back to his side, popping that Mammoth Mash and just putting the damage on to his opposing defender and Alchemy.
All right. I mean, they get some points for their efforts here, but what did we expect, mate? We knew these 2 teams were going to be going at it like this, and no surprises. We are at 1 apiece here going into game 3. This is also Fearless Draft, so these huge picks, Tibby is very comfortable. One of their most comfortable picks is that Serena. They now no longer have access to that, but it was enough to get them the win.
I mean, no access to Urshifu, no access to Serena, no access to Mamoswine, and no access to Blissey. That's a lot of Pokemon to be taken away in game number 2. But also, Los Catacuras don't have access to Alolan Raichu. They don't have access to Snorlax or Gyarados. But I don't think that's too big of a deal for Los Catacuras. They still have a lot of powerhouse Pokemon that they can bring to the forefront. But again, we're going into game number 3, 1 apiece. It's been a while since we've seen a 1 apiece game so early on. It's usually 2-0 at this point to either side, not these teams specifically, but other teams that we've witnessed in the UFC. But just have a look at this battle report graph. That graph shows one story, and that one story is that Guerrilla Tactics were ever so dominant in that game.
Yeah, it was pretty much their control from the get-go, but it was definitely different from that first game where it could have gone either way, realistically. Much more control taken by Guerrilla Tactics. And then, as we can see, realistically on the back of Snow on that Shifu. So as we see here in the mid-game, there were some great team fights. This, I thought, was brilliant from Creed. They knew they were going to go down, buddy, but they put so much pressure onto Los Catacaras that when they come down into this fight here, they've already lost HP. They're not at full HP, and it just makes it a much easier fight for Guerrilla Tactics to find those important KOs, and as if to prove our point, it's going to be Snow that manages to get a couple of them with Tibby backing them up.
I mean, it was a great performance, but there we saw the Kree made their decision. They ice banged them the opposite way. But what I like to see from the defender pick right there is that they didn't actually go and use their second move Earthquake on Gyarados. They just picked it up, put it behind it, and said, this is your food. This is your meal. Have at it. If it gets away, that's on you. They just turned around and continued to Earthquake in the direction of the rest of Los Catacuras. So Kree knew what they were doing. The Ice Fang was there to pick up, put down, serve on a dish. It's your job now. I'm going to continue on with my job. And Kree did a fantastic job in that game, really showing just the utilization of Mamoswine, pulling out those Mammoth Mashes at the right time, as we're seeing right now. I think Mammoth Mash, probably, I think it's such an underrated Unite move. I put it almost on the scale of Hydro Typhoon coming out from Blastoise.
I think I'm with you that it's very underrated.
That's a big thing to say.
It is definitely underrated because I think people don't really think about it that much. When you think of Mamoswine, you just think of the consistent crowd control that you're going to get with that Pokemon throughout the entirety of the game, with Swinub being such a strong laner, and then you've got the Ice Fan coming out. So throughout every stage of Mamoswine's evolutions, you're going to have some great crowd control. And people often overlook or don't think about Mammoth Mash in its sense because you're kind of just jumping around and trying to stay in that fight. But it is great for crowd control, and we witnessed it there. It's so good when you go into a fight, you've already displaced a Pokemon, you're going to use the rest of your moves and finally finish it off with that Mammoth Mash and just really cause the disruption in the middle of that team fight. We just witnessed it firsthand from Kree.
I can't wait till this entire UFC is over. There's going to be a compilation of either just you and I saying the most ridiculous hot takes, just trashing Pokemon completely, and then just going, well, what about this? I think that would be good too. But what would also be good too is if we go into game number 3, 1 apiece. No set point just yet for these teams, but it looks like Los Catacuras have actually swapped sides. They're going to be on your purple side. Your Guerrilla Tactics going to be on your orange side. The orange Pokemon is going to get banned off first from the side of Los Catacuras. And I guess Suicune has a bit of purple on it as well. So that's going to be banned off as well. Nice little color combinations coming out from these two teams.
Yeah, color coordinated, mate. What more can you want? Jose's going to ban out the Eldegoss, and we've been talking recently about the rise of Eldegoss yet again. Still the queen of support here in this game. Blissey alongside it is going to be banned out. Now, what are Los Catacaras going to go with for the first pick? Because they wanted to be on this purple side, buddy. They made that decision after losing that game. What is the reason for it?
I'm not entirely sure, but to pick a Trevenant first pick, I'm not too sure if that's the reason that they wanted the first two, but this also forces Guerrilla Tactics into choosing 2 Pokemon off the bat. So this is a way that you can kind of get a look into the sort of core combo that Guerrilla Tactics is going to go for, and that way they can counter it with that draft pick number 2 and 3 on their side. It's an interesting one. I don't know if Trevenant is what I would switch sides for a first pick, but King and Kree got to pick up that Alolan Raichu and Snorlax.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised at the Trevenant as well, buddy, especially when Snorlax was right there and you go for the Trevenant instead. I mean, we know that the defenders are very, very good, to be fair, but Snorlax is typically known to be the best one at the moment just because of the combo of their moves is so important in this game. But hey-ho, Los Catacados, they have a plan. Bertolo is going to pull out the Mew, Ayami-chan back on the Hooper here. Guerrilla Tactics are going to have to show a little bit more of themselves here, and the counters are going to be ready. Oh my god, it's alright, comfy, bro.
If there was I don't want to say it, but if there was any combination in Pokemon Unite that deserved to be called Daddy, it's that one right there. Zoroark and Daddy Compe coming to play as we see, and I hated the fact that that rhymed as well. It's not fair, as Leo is going to hover. They were hovering over the choppy boy, but they're going to hover over a defender. I'm going to let Tano speak, and I'm going to think about what I just said.
I mean, they're just going to try and combat what Guerrilla Tactics is throwing at them here. Jose is going to pull out the Talonflame. Leo taking the slow, bro. And it's a good approach, but is it going to be a little bit too late? Because Guerrilla Tactics can now pick up a brilliant combo for what they have, and Tibby does. It's the Metagross coming out to play, and that is a very difficult Pokemon for anyone on the side of Los Catacados to take down. They've got no all-rounder. They have a limit on their damage. The burst is just going to come in from Jose and some beaming from Bertolo. I don't think they have enough to deal with Tibby once they get those power spikes.
I'm so disappointed in myself. I'm so
not, bro. I enjoyed it.
Of course you would. You are the big Daddy Tano himself. As we've got Tibby on the field, there's a lot of options for Daddy Leo. I just said Daddy too many times in this game. And there's so many things going on right now, but there's a lot of options for Compe to go on to. Even Chariking is a very good option, whether we see the leaves or the Sweet Tint come out from Daddy Leon on that Compe. It's going to allow Chariking to get away. Of course, we've got Snow on the Zoroark, which is just a problem to deal with no matter who you are. That Zoroark is I hate that combination, and I hate to say hate, but it's such a strong combination. The fact that Zoroark also got buffed when this combination has been nerfed is kind of crazy. It would be interesting, though, Tano, to actually see the Night Slash moveset come out for the first time since the buffs. I don't think we've seen it being played on the UFC stage since those buffs came out, and it has to be one of the most questionable buffs that I have seen in a patch today, not including Leafy.
I completely agree with you, mate. I've had enough of that Pokemon, to be honest, and the more nerfs it gets, the better, and I'm a speedster player, so yeah, 100%. Here we go, though. This is game 3. It's tied at the moment, and we are going to see both of the species take the central area. Bottom lane here, probably a little bit easier for Guerrilla Tactics, just having Kree on this Snorlax, but you can never overcount the water gun on the side of Rome.
No, Kree is so good in that defender position, but the defender's going to go up against each other. Slowpoke has a good secure in Water Gun, as does Snorlax with the tackle, so it's going to be an interesting secure off, but Electro Ball versus the Thunder Shock early game, we're going to give that to the Mew on that side in the bottom path. Leo on that Trevor is going to be a problem, but Zoroark going to go to the opposite lane that the Comfy is going to be in, and we are seeing the Night Slash come to play, using the scoring animation to avoid that Mew boosted.
Let's go, Snow. There's a reason they are one of the best players here. They did so well in their UCS campaign recently. Unfortunately, weren't able to go to put the effort into the worlds that they were hoping for. But nevertheless, they're here now in the off-season and trying to dominate Los Catacados, utilizing this Zora arc. Although Leo is now online, Curse is on the field. It'll be interesting to see if we have a pain split rather than that would happen.
I mean, it is an interesting one. I talked about it before. I still see the benefits of Hornleech and Woodhammer, just in terms of just the way that we see defenders being used right now. The Electro Ball is not going to be able to take that away from Snow. The fact that this is Snow, if that is fully confirmed, Snow was one of our favorite players that we got to watch consistently last season. Talonflame is going to stick tight to Snow and send Zoroark back to the Pokemon Center, but that is also the problem with that combo, is once you get one, that Compe is caught out in no man's land. That's a double KO and some nice experience for Talonflame.
over here in the UK, it's what we like to call a bog offer, buddy. Buy one, get one free is what we have, and that's exactly what you get with that comfort. You find one KO, you're usually going to find another, unless they are in that team fight and very quick at getting on to the opposition. They do manage to find a KO onto Hooper there on the back of Cherry King, and surprise, surprise, an incredibly even game here in the early stages.
I mean, yeah, 45-52 is not exactly anything to sneeze about. It just shows how good this early game is. The fact that Zorak has the ability to just snowball, but they're going to turn their attention to the Red Dragon. Just got to say, I do love that Regidrago animation with the mouth opening. Speaking of, they're going to keep it closed whilst they try to take this one here. The curse is going to come out. Slowbro is here with the Surf. Metagross is going to secure that win. I believe it was the Zen Headbutt. Flamesweep comes out from Talonflame. It is the nuclear option with Bravebird that is just able to take everybody down, clear the field away. Jose is on fire.
The Bravebird is very brave, but he's seeing Tibby on that Metagross, so fair play to them. They are going to try and see if that extra burst damage will make the difference. It does there, but I'm not sure whether it will later on with Gyrable being online with a Metagross, but it's all about those levels. Right now, they've hit level 10. The secure comes through on the Zorak Snow. Finds the Regieleki. Thunderstorm Aerial goes down as well. I'm not quite sure why. I think that was probably over KO and was not needed.
Aesthetics. That's it, mate. Just aesthetics.
100%.
It looks nice. They just wanted to show us the Unite move, and I appreciate that from the players. But what Raichu does not appreciate is what was waiting for it in the bush. Then Slow Smoke gets popped. Hooper is popping out, pulls a nice little magician's trick. The Citrus Berry going to be eaten by Snow. Snorlax is incredibly over, breaks the ankles of Jose. Talonflame, these Bravebirds are hitting.
Yeah, and that's the difference right now, buddy. Hitting level 11 on that Talonflame. Snow's going to try and see if they can get away from this. Just buffering at the moment, so please do bear with it. There we go, it's back, and it's very quick. As Nightfall Days comes out, Daddy Leon is the only one left, though, as they try and get back onto their team, and they do finally have Metagross online. Tibby trying to find the KO connections here. Cherry King still hasn't gone down. Very weak at the back of his hand, but Los Catacados are wisely going to go on the retreat here. Leo putting up the defense against Tibby, and they've been able to hold them out at the moment. Then Headbutt looking for it, but they're going to find the KO Phantom. Forest gets two as they take down Raichu, and right now it's all down to Kree and Daddy Leon to defend this pad, and that's not going to be an easy task, but Snorlax is the one for the calling.
You were just pointing out before, it is Pain Split, and that's doing a great job. We thought it might struggle up against these Gyrables before, but with the massive damage that Gyrable can do, this Trevenant, this Leo is surviving and causing a lot of problems. All of that was on the back of Trevenant. However, Los Catacuras have kept the lead with 219 to 142. We see Snow decide to get that 40 in, keeping this game close. We're only halfway through this game, but we saw Talonflame up here and disappear with the Hooper assistance. There we go. Trevenant almost get caught. Leo has to pop that XP. Talonflame's going to go in, tries to catch Snow out. Flame Sweep back to the way. The Compute Crash comes down, sets up the Beyblade Arena. Hooper's going to go up. Now there's Chaos raiding in that central lane. Snorlax has to run away, but doesn't get very far.
We talk about how strong these defender players are and how important they are, buddy. Robs has just shut down that attack from Guerrilla Tactics. Compute and Crush came out, and if it wasn't for the slow beam, they would have found some really important KOs, but instead the slow beam goes on to the Metagross. Tibby cannot move, and all that happens is Talonflame comes and does what Talonflame does best. Jose blows up Guerrilla Tactics, and they get the Regieleki off the back of that.
Now you see though that Leo is right in the face of Metagross the entire time. Thunderbolt Arrow's going to come down, so is the Phantom Forest, and it is Leo that manages to steal the Reggie away from Guerrilla Tactics. Now they're going to chase down Cherry King again with the Pain Split. They're not letting him go anywhere with the curse, and Cherry King is caught between a rock and a tree, and the tree is not going to move.
I think the defenders are the strongest picks here for Los Catacados. I mean, of course, you've got Jose capitalizing on what these defenders are doing, but the Pain Split Trevenant was a stroke of genius here from Leo, because everything wants to do a great amount of damage to them, and Tibby wants to sustain that damage with the gyro balls, but it doesn't work just yet. There goes the power nap from the Snorlax, but again, Tibby in the middle of the fight. The Pain Split is on them, and look at it, Lobo. It cannot get a KO as Leo prevents the damage coming through, gets their heels, and Jose feeds off the back of it.
All the damage that is being put onto Leo is just being absorbed by that pain split, and Bravebird, I said it was the nuclear option, and it is the nuclear option. Jose hasn't had enough on that one. Tries to steal the farm away, gets caught by the grass knot. They're gonna Bravebird to try and put some damage. You don't want a level 14 going down right now. A late flame sweep is gonna come out as well. But oh my god, the Zen headbutt targeted on to the Slowbro and allowed Jose to get away. Oh my god, that was that had to have been a miskick or incredible positioning by Slowbro to absorb that Zen headbutt.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate for Timmy. They were definitely looking for Jose, but they managed to get away with the aerial ace, and then it just connects onto the side of Rops, and that is it. Just an easy way for them to escape what Timmy was bringing them. But right now, Los Caracados, they've managed to get away from the Reggie Drago. Guerrilla Tactics have locked it in. Bottom Reggie about to spawn on in. 10 seconds they will have to rip this, but they've decided against it, trying to get into a good position for the crowd and about to come on in, buddy. They may be able to pick up Rops nice and early, but no, they get themselves away, utilizing the Hooper, Phantom Force, and right now, Mystical Mirage has already been popped without anyone hitting the ground on.
I mean, look at where Jose is. Jose's going after Zoroark here. Has to pop the, go for the surprise attack free. Almost got taken down there, but Timmy is there. There's the Thunder Force. Zero's going to come down. Swan's going to take a nap. Phantom Forest has to be grown into the wind. Zoroark gets taken down. Leo is still alive with the curse spreading across there. Sky Ruins. 2 members down for the side of Los Caracudos. 1 member down for the side of Guerrilla Tactics. They've got to take this as now Guerrilla Tactics are turning their attention to the ground on. It's becoming range, but there's still a level 15 Talonflame, a level 14 Mew on the field. Those beams are going to hurt. But Metagross says, Mew who? Let's go back to Pokemon. Go back to the Pokemon Center.
Guerrilla Tactics trying to see if they can get a little bit of a rip here on the ground. Over here from Leo, they've got the pain split onto the side of that Metagross. The Fury Crush goes up in stadium time, but it ends up into the wall of the Talonflame, and it's going to be Guerrilla Tactics that takes the ground on. Zoroark finds the KO, and Snow does what needs to be done for Guerrilla Tactics to steal this from the jaws of defeat, as Los Caracados were celebrating early, thinking that they were going to get that objective. But right now, Guerrilla Tactics still needs this Hundo Burger. 40 seconds left, buddy. What, 22 points between them.
Mew didn't jump, and they allowed the Hunderberg into the top path. There's 2 members on this path right now. Slogs, Zoroark, that was disguised as a slow poke. Gonna get another Hunderberg in. The buffs are here. 27 seconds to go. Guerrilla Tactics have to be very careful right now. But again, I think they're so far into their own, into the home pad, that even if they manage to take these buffs and hightail it to the other side of the map, they're not going to be able to get any scores in. But look at where Hooper's going. Hooper has got their Unite move access with 9 seconds left to go. They're going to send everybody back to the home pad on the side of Guerrilla Tactics, and the scores are raining in, Tano. 3 seconds to go. We still can't see what's going on. Snorlax can't get the 50 in.
I think they might have done enough there, buddy, looking at it. I think that might have been enough. We'll have to see in a very few moments. I love the Hooper play, by the way. Brilliant play. It's very smart from Miami. That's realistically the only way you win it, but the difficulty is they do have people on the pad, and it is going to be Guerrilla Tactics that win it. They were on the home pad. If you all go and score, if you don't have enough points, it's not going to make the difference. So Guerrilla Tactics are going to go up 2-1. But again, mate, it was Los Caracados that was so brilliant in that. It was just such a perfect Unite move coming out from the Metagross, and at that crowd on fight, they end up taking it on the back of Snow.
It was a very good game. Jose played an incredible Talonflame game. I mean, we haven't seen Bravebird been used for, I think, months now. It used to be a very popular pick, just the nuclear option coming through. It was just able to clear out teams, but they used it to great effect, pairing it with Yami on that Hooper. But also, you saw Jose and Leo acted as their own duo queue inside that entire game. Anything that was caught in the pain split of Leo was instantly dived onto by Jose, and Jose's positioning at that Groudon fight, they were completely opposite from where the rest of Los Caracudos were, on the opposite side, because Bravebird has an incredible range to go for that you can hit.
Yeah, pairing that with the Hooper as well is just so good, because it's such a massive amount of damage, and you in regards to that, you get healing proportionate to the amount of damage that you drop, and you also get a damage buff. So something like a Brave Bird is perfect for that combo because you're doing a huge amount of burst damage. You're going to get a really good amount of healing when you go back. So it's great engage, retreat, go back in. It's a brilliant setup.
I mean, there was a lot going on in that match, but once again, we're seeing, again, players that I would say usually do stay onto those all-rounder or those attacker picks, as well. Those Pokemon that are just up in your face are finding their groove right now on these defender picks. You saw, I think it was Leo on that Trevenant that put up 80k damage, which I think was the second most damage on their team. But again, the Surf's coming in. There you go, see Jose just bypassing that front line that was the Metagross, just decided not to go after the Metagross at all, going after Chara King in the back and Snow on that Zoroark. So again, Daddy Leon doing a brilliant job on that Comfey, hopping off wherever he needed to do and trying to heal as much of the team as possible. This is the escape tactic that I saw that I thought was going to happen. The Flame Sweep came out. This was the target here. The Zen Headbutt was about to target Jose on the Talonflame, but using the Brave Bird to go over the Metagross, it targeted onto the Slowbro instead, which took it even further away from Jose. And then now we lead into this brilliant ground on fight.
This was great from Guerrilla Tactics. There were a couple of team fights where things just weren't going their way. I was concerned about Los Caracados managing to get the KOs onto Tibby, and to be fair, all they did is just ignore it. Just ignore Tibby and go for the KOs onto the Zoroark, go for the KOs onto the Alolan Raichu on the back of Jose, and just get that Trevenant to pair across Tibby, utilizing the Pain Split, mate. It was a brilliant response from Los Caracados, but that fight that you just saw on the back of Snow, brilliant Compute and Crush is going to go up from Tibby. Snow's going to dive on in. They've got Nightfall Days. It is a brilliant Unite move in the middle of that ground. Den get the secure. They get KO'd for it, but then they just bounce back with that buff and clean up the rest.
A lot of the time, even when we're playing the game casually, you think you run up to an enemy team, an enemy person on your team, like, how do we deal with this? We can't deal with this. And the simple answer is don't. Metagross is so good because it can just stay in there and the front line, and then it relies on the attackers behind it, its supporters, to really do the rest and keep it alive or putting damage on the things that it's distracting yourself with. If you completely bypass a front line that is so bulky, you know, you take your Serenas, your Urshifus, your Blazikins, your Empoleons now as well. If you just decide not to fight them and just, again, go right past them, and just have your defenders deal with those frontliners and then deal with whatever's going on in the back, then you can converge on your stronger attackers. It's such a simple play that I think a lot of people don't really understand how simple but effective it can be. But now we are sitting at match point for our second game of the night. Again, I put the Lobo Lock prediction down that I thought this would go to a full set of 5. I know you and I have been so excited with this game that we would love it to go to a full game of 5. But, mate, I feel like Guerrilla Tactics just want to end this one early.
That they do, mate. It's whether they've got the capability of doing that against a team like Los Caracados with how deep into this Fearless draft we are now. So we're going into game 4. They're both realistically going to have like over 10 Pokemon banned between them, as well as another 2 coming in. So they're going to go pretty deep down this pool. Leo's going to ban out the Buzzwole here, one of the strongest all-rounders in this game, knowing Guerrilla Tactics hasn't used it yet, and they're going to pair that with the Zacian. Interesting play there.
I mean, I'm not surprised with it at all. You take away 2 of the strongest all-rounders that we have seen, and we have seen Guerrilla Tactics use both of these Pokemon to great effect. Suicune is not going to be allowed out to play at all today. They just don't want to be frozen in place, and I can understand why. Ain't no one like the cold. You know a lot about the cold being over in the UK, but let's see if we can heat it on up. Crustle will probably do a good job of heating you up, my friend.
I mean, it does live by the seaside, and that's very cold here in the UK. But hey, Rops has the capability of warming my heart with some brilliant Crustle play. Let's see what Guerrilla Tactics are going to pull out in response, because this could be really revealing to their plan with the comp. If it's not going to be a defender and a supporter, and they go for some sort of ranged attacker or all-rounder here, it's going to be very revealing. Daddy Leon looks like they're going to pull out the... No, it's Kree again on the Trevenant. Chari King is going to pull out the Miraidon.
I want to see it's another Trevenant battle. Again, we saw Los Catacudos play the Trevenant, and now Guerrilla Tactics have gone, well, you know what? Let me give it a go. And a Trevenant sitting in front of a Miraidon is a scary thing. But Birdilo gonna try and outrange Guerrilla Tactics here on the Inteleon. I am not going to hold my breath in hopes that we see another liquidation Inteleon come around, because when we saw that last time, you and I nearly fell out of our seats. Leo goes, well, now time for me to show you what my Metagross looks like. Again, it's a game of one-upsmanship between these players. Daddy Leon wants to hover over the very pretty flower, which I would love to see them play. Tibby, I thought they were going to go for a water dragon. Instead, they go for a ground dragon.
We actually don't see much of the Garchomp now, buddy, so I quite like this from Tibby. What is interesting is that because of the Buzzwole being banned, that's why Charikin's going to pull out this Miraidon. Buzzwole is a perfect counter to Miraidon, and realistically, there's not a lot more other than maybe Leo with the Zen Headbutt, but that's why you've got this strong front line. And what have we just seen? Los Catacados capitalizing on that Pain Split Trevenant to really limit what could come from that Metagross. So Guerrilla Tactics playing the exact same tactics here, but Jose is going to pull out the Zoroark, and a Yami-chan has a Sableye on the field.
Are these guys in the same voice chat as each other? Because Snow was hovering over the Talonflame and just like, you want to swap them? You want to swap them? All right, we'll swap them. We'll swap them as well. I like the Sableye pick. It's interesting. Sableye has such a good way of disruption. I know a lot of the time when we see Sableye in our own ranked games, we got, oh my God, let me surrender at 5 minutes. However, Sableye has been a joy to watch in these competitive 5-sacks. It's able to disrupt. That Unite move is quite good. The scoring is important from Sableye as well, but also when you are stunned for those few seconds, that is exactly what Jose wants on that Zoroark. That's exactly what Leo wants on that Metagross. That's exactly what Birdilo wants on that Inteleon. And, well, you know, Rops is just going to trap everybody in and allow the rest of those teams to do exactly what they want to do.
Yeah, I especially like the fact that they're going to try and set up these snipe shots hits. It's so good utilizing the Sableye for that, buddy. We've seen so many teams do exactly that. So it's smart play from a Yami-chan, and people don't realize how much damage a Sableye can actually take. Notice that leftovers on it. Yes, we are in year 4 of Pokemon Unite now, chat. Leftovers is a viable held item finally, and you will see a Yami-chan utilizing that, so they don't have to go back to that home pad. They don't have to go for the citrus berries. They can go in, cause some stuns, go and score, and then come back in and do the exact same thing.
I agree. And it's I know, like a lot of Pokemon right now, we question their usability, but sometimes you just have to see it used a certain way, and you kind of just click, and it's like, well, that's exactly how I want to use this Pokemon. But here we see Zoroark going to take that central area. Who else but Zoroark, and who else but Talonflame? The speedster battle between these two was so interesting in the previous game, but the sides have been flipped right now, and they're going to go for a run back.
Eldegoss trying to get that red buff as well, just to help with that top lane alongside that passage. Charikin down here should really have a little bit of a benefit utilizing this Miraidon. It's so good at causing damage in the early stages. So is the Stubble, but it's all about who hits that power spike first.
I mean, Sableye is also disrupt and trying to take away some of those Chaos Energy that's used to stack. There we go. Only 8 points that are going to be taken by Leo. 11 points getting taken away by the little Gibble. We don't usually talk about the points early this on, but with the Sableye, you got to keep track as the stacks are going to go in. A quick 30 going to go in for the side of Guerrilla Tactics, but Zoroark is here. Going to pick up a quick KO streak of 2. Nope, not going to pick them up. Just going to assist with those KOs.
I mean, Snow was very comfortable until they saw Jose and was like, yeah, you know what, I'm out of here. And then ends up getting KO'd. Yami is going to lock down free on that Phantom, and it is going to give over the Drizzile. Now they're on the field. Bertolo looking for a little bit more to get that Inteleon. Tibby managing to get to the Gabai here is going to get a 30 dunk in themselves, extending the lead for Guerrilla Tactics.
It's Feint Attack this time around by Jose on Zoroark. We saw Night Slash being played in the previous game. I'm curious what Tibby's going to run. We're going to see Dragon or Ground moveset. The boosted from Zoroark is its biggest deal. If it can finish that combination, the heal's going to come through from Eldegoss. It's going to try and eject pass back. Zoroark's going to try to pick up a KO, and that boosted is going to do exactly that.
Again, Ayami-chan causing that stun, meaning that they weren't able to get away, but that is the power of Talonflame, especially when Jose is pretty weak. Snow's just going to come in and clean it up. Not going to be easy to deal with this Matang, though, with the Gyro Ball. Leo will go down, but on a full health, that's probably not a fight Snow wants to look for.
No, absolutely. But you saw how Fly was just able to stall in the air whilst they finished that scoring animation. Smart plays by them coming through, 49 to 69. Once again, a very close game in the early stages. Reggie Drago is here. Snapshots are available. Charge Beam sends the damage away, but Talonflame takes to the sky and says that dragon is mine.
People often ask the difference between Snipe Shot and Spirit Shackle, buddy, and the difference is not only do you have brilliant crits on the side of Snipe Shot, but it doesn't pierce the way that Spirit Shackle does. So if that was Spirit Shackle, they'd have got that secure, buddy, but at least they do get that crit damage, and that's very dangerous when you come into the late game, especially at the Groudon fight.
I agree with you. One of Inteleon's most redeeming qualities as an attacker is not only the crits that it gets. Zorak is going to take a quick KO on the Gabba in that lane. Garchomp still needs to get online. The stacks are going to come through for those all-rounders in the top path, but Gorilla Tactics say, fine, take the top path, we'll turn to the bottom path and take this Regieleki off the board. Oh my god! Talonflame! I thought it was going to take it, almost being stolen away by that Rock Tomb.
Yeah, it's a good effort, to be fair, mate, but just out of reach. Now the Regieleki is going to be defended. Bertolo has to back on up because this enhanced charge beam, it's got so much range and it does a decent amount of damage. Kree's here trying to see if they can push them off this pad so the Regieleki can go on in. Manages to find Bertolo, but they're so weak. The crits will connect and the Snipe Shot just misses Chari King, but it's enough for them to think twice about pushing that limit out here, but they find the Zorak. Leo throws up the stadium and Timmy says, not an ambulance for me, but the Gyro Ball does connect. It's a double KO as Leo does what needs to be done, finds a triple, and Chari King has to go on the retreat.
That was a beautiful sequence of events coming out from Metagross there, right there. We saw Eldegoss was trying to heal Garchomp, but couldn't get any of those attacks because Garchomp was moving, trying to avoid the Gyro Ball from Metagross. Right now, the enhanced charge beam is just going to shred down the Crustle, going to be finished off, and Talonflame has gone hunting for the Inteleon. Once again, the inability to pierce comes through when it comes to defending that pad. The Azure Spy Vision is going to take out the Talonflame. Bright Future Meteor Storm rains down from the heavens. The stack's going to go in, but Metagross in that top pass brings it right back to the side of Los Catacuros.
This is what we expect for a game 4, buddy. It is back and forth, left and right. Jose is going to find a triple for themselves, utilizing the Nightfall Maze. A huge 38 over cap is going to go to Los Catacados. 31 nearly going in by Ayame, but without having that goal getter, that's going to be too hard for them to do with Kree being there. They get burnt down, but right now they have 140 points in the lead for Los Catacados.
And we've only just crossed the halfway mark, Tano. It's only been halfway in this game, and there's been so much action on the field. The level's still looking quite good. 2 level 12s on the side of Los Catacuros, 3 level 11s on the side of Gorilla Tactics. Metagross wants to set up the compute across that Beyblade Stadium, is in the limited outrage alongside the Phantom Force. Cotton Cloud Crash takes to the sky to try and keep Garchomp nice and healthy. Sableye is going to confuse the Garchomp as well as Zorak has to bound their way back. Crustle gets a dunk into the bottom path to increase their lead by about 40, I believe, so 183 to the side of Los Catacuros. Eldegoss is going to secure the Regieleki for this side, but now they're still going to go back and engage once again.
Oh, they do use the flame sweep to connect onto Bertolo. Oh, the fly was just in time for that to not connect with the basic. And they do manage to get away, but they run into the claws of Leo, trying to escape. Oh, the Rock Tomb ends up hitting the wall from Rats. They are waiting for it. Cooldown about to come on off. Can Talonflame get away? Snapshot there. Manages to dodge, but Ayami shuts them down, and Rox finds it anyway as Los Catacados find a huge KO onto that level 12 Talon.
Talonflame did everything there to gain, but again, the unsung hero of this game has to be Ayami, trying to sneak a level 40 in any time that their team is in a little bit of concern, where Garchomp jumps in or Talonflame jumps in, or even on the Miraidon, that Ayami comes in and confuses everybody, gives that team a little bit of reprieve. Sableye is invisible once again, wants to try and get another 40 in, keep this game out of Gorilla Tactics' reach, but now they've got another problem with Regieleki stomping its way down into that bottom path.
Jose is going to find the KO onto the Talonflame. That's going to open up even more space for Los Caracados to push this if they want. Reggie Drago's about to come on in. That 40, really trying to get that in is Ayami, but they're there to stop it is Tibi. The stun will come through. Ayami will likely get away here, although Tibi is trying to chase them down, makes the wise decision to go away from that. The Regieleki is going to be defended, but Reggie Drago is going to be taken uncontested here for Los Caracados. They currently have the advantage in this game 4.
I mean, Ayami just ran towards their two bigger brothers, Zorak and Metagross, and Garchomp was like, no, thank you. We have hit the final stretch period, 30 seconds until Regieleki spawns. Remember, this is gut check time. This is game number 4. Guerrilla Tactics can win this and take this game 3-1. Talonflame takes to the sky. Oh my god, Crossel almost getting caught out there. I thought that fight was going to come early, but a big snipe shot takes Snow down to very low health before the Groudon even spawns. These snipe shots are raining from downtown. 5 seconds till Groudon shows its face, and Los Caracudas are in a very good position right now. They can stop Guerrilla Tactics from trying to get into this Groudon pit.
Yeah, they feel a little aggressive here. Yami going straight into the central area, getting all that vision that they're looking for. That's the most important thing at a Groudon fight, is having vision on where the enemy is, so you know what approach you can take. And look at the way Los Caracados is positioning themselves. They're trying to go around with a pincer movement, making sure that they've closed off the entirety. Ayami knows they are all there. They can get this 40 in finally and extend their lead to 80 points. Tibi is half health. So is Leo right now. The snipe shots are so important because they don't have enough healing on the side of Guerrilla Tactics to deal with it. They go on in with a Talonflame, doesn't find the KO. Cotton Cloud Crash is going to come on out. Leo puts the Confused Rush up online. Bright Fusion Meteor Storm into the middle of the stadium is going to be enough to find the double KOs. Guerrilla Tactics are winning this team fight right now, but they haven't dealt with the Zorak, and that's going to be the biggest threat. Right now, Repo is getting the damage put onto them. Ayami-chan just on the outskirts of this, looking for the stun. Chaos Glow is going to go off, manages to find 2 of nobody, and it means the damage is not going to be enough, but they do go back to the home base, but it's going to be Guerrilla Tactics with another brilliant final moment in that fight that locks in the Groudon.
I mean, Groudon was locked in. I thought Ayami-chan might have saved it for their team there. 100 goes in. They're at 203. They have to score. The best time to fight as a team is right now. Zorak can swap. Flamesy's going to come in. The 47 is going to go in. Can they get the double dunk? They can. 345 in. Now they have to find the KOs, but Nightfall Days comes up, picks up a KO, and they're going to steal a Groudon buff away. Metagross gets taken down as well. Crossel is incredibly low. Down goes Rob. Talonflame's going to retreat back to base, but that might be a bad decision because they're still trying to get some points in with 17 seconds left to go. They need to get some points in because Los Caracudos are still in the lead, but Rhydon and Talonflame head into that top part. They need a single Hundo Burger, but there is just not enough change on the field for them to get these points in. That is going to be game, I believe, to Los Caracudos.
I think you're right, mate. Definitely did not have enough in those final few moments to get that win. Los Caracados, brilliant way to have plenty of scores coming into that Groudon fight that you don't have to be too concerned about losing that fight, but you've just got to defend there, and there we go, confirmation. We are going to a game 5 in Los Caracados' first set in the Unite Fight Club.
I mean, my crystal ball was absolutely on the money. Hear me, Mystic Forces. Give me your power. I have gotten the prediction right. We have gone to a full set of 5. 40 Pokemon are complete. Wait, is it 40? Is it? No, it can't be 40. It has to be like 30.
It's like 5 each, isn't it?
Yeah, 5. Oh, yeah, 5
so it's
each.
Like 10 per game, realistically.
My bad. So 40 Pokemon total, completely off the pack. If you also count the bands, 44 Pokemon. So we are down to it. Game 5 incoming. My inability to count has increased the more games we get to watch.
I mean, I think we both predicted this was going to happen, but both of these teams are some of the most exciting teams here in the Unite Fight Club. And as a reminder, chat, as we continue in Season 1, we will have the mid-season qualifiers, and the winners from that will go up against the bottom place in Season 1 for promotion matches to see who stays in the league for the second stage of Season 1. So you want to get every win you possibly we can. Guerrilla Tactics have already locked one in. Los Caracados are a new team. They need a win to start their course off early in the Unite Fight Club.
I mean, just having a look at this graph right now in this game, Los Caracados were behind, then they were in front, then they were behind again. Guerrilla Tactics were able to take away the Groudon in a very, very well-won fight. Ayami-chan was probably my MVP of that match, just how useful Sableye was. They tried to get the 40 in topside. They failed miserable times, but they kept Tibi occupied and not letting them actually go away from pad and securing any farm to gain any experience. So now they're at the Groudon fight. They knew exactly where everybody was. They went to the bottom part. They scored the 40, which was an 80 in double point score. And they put the pressure even more onto Guerrilla Tactics. And it was that score that enabled them to stay in the lead.
Yeah, it was a brilliant game, buddy. But this is it. It's the fact that Los Caracados managed to score enough points for them to be able to take that lead. And this is why I love the change of getting rid of that green dragon, get the bogey out of there. Let's have Groudon in the fight, because now it's not all about taking that one final objective and just sprinting to score. You can be stopped scoring. You can lose the buff and give that over to the other team. And on top of that, it's very hard to be able to make that push in a couple of seconds left in the fight, buddy. And that's how Los Caracados managed to hold on out. Brilliant foresight by Ayami to get back up to that T1 goal, recognizing that Snow had gone back to the home base and they were definitely going to be getting some help so that they could push that T1 pad.
Yeah, I agree with you. And look, we're just seeing the beautiful positioning come through. Again, both tier ones were up for Los Caracados in that game. Again, we're seeing the score heading on into that final stretch, 283 to 103 as it came down. They also had the Regidrago taken. Los Caracados have really been prioritizing these objectives. And I know a long time ago, we saw a graph of objectives taken and secured that lead to wins overall. Taking these objectives secure you game position, they secure you map position, so they're so important. But here is the overall fight that we had coming through. Those snipe shots were hitting from Bertilo. Metagross was the first one to be felled right down, just got caught here. They put up the compute and crash, the Beyblade Arena, but the Bright Future Meteor Storm. But there, Zoroark getting caught with the Horn Leech into the Woodhammer. Absolutely brilliant. And then the rest was just coming through. Beautiful, beautiful play by the side of Guerrilla Tactics. And this is where Ayami-chan stalled everybody with the Sableye Unite move. It was still taken, but 55 seconds left to go. Just have a look at the points. Talonflame had 50, Garchomp had 50, Eldegoss had 50, and I don't think the Eldegoss scored because they were taken down by Zoroark, which gave Zoroark a buff in defending. So, again, it's a completely new game with Groudon.
I tell you what, if we take a photo at the 1 minute mark and be like, would you believe Los Caracados win this game? Because everybody was down except Ayami-chan in the middle of that Groudon den, and the only one that is there with the rest of the enemy team being there. And then Jose was just sat in a bush in the top lane by themselves waiting to go for a back cut, buddy. And it's like, Los Caracados win this game. So fair play to them. They did what needed to be done, knowing that they ended up losing that team fight. And here we go. It's a game 5, my guy.
I mean, it's the first game 5 we have seen in a long time, and I can see the hype in the chat. Player names that we have had the pleasure of casting. It is so wonderful to have you guys here watching this game number 5. Tibi's going to pick up Zacian. It's going to be Blissey, Aegis/Suicune, and Buzzwole banned out once again. They really don't like this Suicune. Once again, you can have a look down the bottom, guys. You can see what has been banned and played throughout all of the first 4 games. All 20 Pokemon on each side, all 40 Pokemon that have been banned out, unable to be played. We're going to see Lapras for the first time. We're going to see Zacian for the first time. Umbreon is going to be seen for the second time. Daddy was hovering over a Wigglytuff, and they've somehow managed to scroll over to an even worse Pokemon that we don't want to call Daddy in that Mr. Mime.
That you do not. I do want to see it on Fire Sky Ruins, but I do not want to call it Daddy. So Leon is the name for the game. But no, there we go. Clefable on the field. I would love to see some Mr. Mime. I think that is another Pokemon that's kind of underrated, especially the sort of crowd control, confused bombs that we see from it. But Los Caracados here looking to respond. Leo just teasing the Lucario. Bertolo is going to pick up the Venusaur. What a perfect Pokemon to be able to pull out in a Game 5.
I mean, I think Leo was listening to you, buddy, because we've got a Mr. Mime on the field. If there is something you want to stop from getting to your Venusaur, a front line of Lapras, Umbreon, and Mr. Mime will do it for you. Tibby is there. We've got Kree on the cross. So Cherry King looking to pick up. Oh, they're hovering between the bigger blue button and the big green button, but they're gonna lock in the Glaziken, the Blaziken and the Glaceon. How did I merge those two names together? Guerrilla Tactics on your purple side for this one. Los Catacudos on your orange side. Jose wants to round it off with Miraidon. Oh,
I do like that though, buddy. You came out with we're saying both their names to state what they picked. I should have done that earlier. What would it be? A Mimisaur? A Mimisaur? That's what they pulled out, and then no, it's going to be the Miraidon to finally range it out.
I think you just go with Mr. Venu is what we go with that combination.
It does have a business suit Hollowware as well on the Venusaur, so Mr. Venu it is.
He wants to talk to you about your car's extended warranty, but unfortunately we do not have time for paperwork because we're going to get straight into the action. Game number 5. This is it. Set point, match point, game point, life point, not life point, bragging rights all on the line for this one. Can Los Catacudos have a debut win at the UFC? Can Guerrilla Tactics stop the newcomers from having a hot entry into this competition? It all comes down to this. They've gone for a protect the president style composition with Miraidon and Venusaur coming through. I didn't see if they had changed items and went for a raid boss style Venusaur because I was silly being silly. And now we're going to see what we get. Obviously, Blaziken's going to head into that central lane. We're probably looking at an Icicle Spear Glaceon coming through as well. Trap them in with that Rock Tomb and shred them down. And Metal Claw and Play Rough have been the most popular moves on Zacian, one of the highest picked Pokemon right now. And Lapra's going to head into that top pass of Venusaur in the central lane.
And that does also open up that area where we talk about the fact that Guerrilla Tactics have played their Pokemon pool so well that they now have a Game 5 with a Blaziken and Zacian on the field, mate.
That's crazy. This is how you have to do Fearless Draft. The UFC and Engage are the only ones that engage in Fearless Draft, pun fully intended, and they are showing just how useful that is and how entertaining it is. Zacian swinging that sword, gonna crack the shell of that Lapras, but Ivysaur and the central lane is gonna go to the opposite lanes this time round. Mr. Mime gonna take a stroll to the top.
And now they've got Glaceon online, putting the damage onto Bertolo here. The spears are going to come through, not enough just yet. We talk about the fact that realistically Glaceon needs that level 6 to be able to get those spears ready to rock and roll. And until then, definitely is lackluster. Leo's going to go face to face with the Sword Doggo here, gets a freeze through as well. Jose's going to find all that bad. Daddy Leon stacks up against it as they go back to Nurse Joy. Timmy's going to do what they can do to find a KO. The passive from the Lapras being too much. Los Catacudos dominate the top lane.
That Sludge Bomb does indicate that it is going to be a Venusaur. Yame-chan proving to go with the mean look, which is exactly what you want to stop that Blaziken and Zacian from getting to your Venusaur or Miraidon. These little Natus that are usually forgotten don't really provide all of that much experience for you, but it's nice to take them off the field when they get a chance to shine. Mr. Mime's going to set up some walls, but Umbreon is going to play that front line with that enhanced charge beam. Glaceon gets trapped and sent back to Nurse Joy.
Oh, I hate playing against Mr. Mime, but I absolutely love casting it with it. It's so funny because he just runs in, puts up the wall and pushes you into it. And it does a significant amount of damage. That's just a level 5 Mr. Mime right now. You wait until we hit the late game, mate. It's going to be a menace. Randy Drago now rotating into the top lane after making their way down to the bottom. We do have Blaziken here, the God of Secure, ready to go. So is Jose with the beam. Zoning them out is Lapras at the moment, going up against Tibby. It looks like they're going to make take an approach on finding the KO on Lapras rather than the secure. Snow is here though. There's the overheat. The beam comes through and it's actually Umbreon that finds it. Iyane with a basic takes the Regidrago.
It's another brilliant tactic as well by Lapras to use the bubble beam as well, because it just holds you in place. Once again, the mean look also holding them in place for the Miraidon to just use that enhanced charge beam. The mean look is there. Clefable can't go anywhere. This is a brutal tactical masterclass coming out from the side of Los Catacuras, because nothing is getting to those ranged attackers right now.
That it is not. They take the point lead here, not too far off some Unite moves that they're looking for either. They don't have any just yet. We do, of course, have the Blaziken one. That isn't really a Unite move, but very close on the side of this Sergeant as well. Just one more level needed going in onto Leo here. They do get plenty of healing coming through from that Wish, and there's the overheat ready to connect. Right now, Registeel has got so low. Overheat might be on cooldown just now. Focus Fan goes out, ready to go again, but it is going to be Dasher that finds it anyway. Gets the rip through, sends Lapras back to the ocean, and now they want to capitalize on opening up this pad. Trying to block them off with the walls is going to be Mr. Mime, but Guerrilla Tactics proves to be too much with their momentum at the moment. Glacial Stage is going to come through. They get the speed through onto Jose. Doesn't find the KO there. The Sludge Bomb Beam's going to get ready to burn, and they haven't found any scores into this pad.
The early game tactical masterclass with the mean look, the walls, and the bubble beam was proving to be very effective, but this is what's showing with Guerrilla Tactics. The pressure and the shred that they have coming out from the Glaceon, and the ability to do damage from Blaziken and Zacian is incredible. Blaziken now has nothing standing in its way to get on to the Venusaur. Fire beats grass every single time. It's super effective. 40's gonna rein in, and that points lead has been cut down.
Let me just not clip Jose missing everybody with that beam in that moment, buddy. Let's move on from that. Looking at this, would we want a game 5 any other way? We're now currently tied with points, although there's the 5 going in for Guerrilla Tactics. Mid-game here, and it couldn't be any closer. Guerrilla Tactics edging it with the level 11 on the Blaziken. Los Catacados very close behind, though, as the Regieleki spawns in the bottom lane. Getting ready to zone them out is Rops, and of course the Lapras is here as well. The burn is coming through from Jose and Miraidon. They've got to deal with Creepy in here, though. The Unite move was popped over on the side of the Umbreon, but they get KO'd for their effort. It's showtime, baby, as Mr. Mime goes in, uses the confusion to blow up the blue button against the wall. Right here, Immediate Storm's going to come on in here, find a little bit of space for Los Catacados as they look for the rush, and it's going to be third and anger, but the Regieleki reset Lobo, and it's Blaziken that takes it.
It walked back into place, and it regen just enough health that solar beam wasn't enough to take the Regieleki off the man. But Blaziken was able to come back in and do the secure. 150 goes in. The Regieleki has stomped on him, but they don't have any points. They're waiting for Blaziken to do a nice overcap. 194 to 127 for the side of Guerrilla Tactics. Wow, we're hitting into this mid-game right now. 2 level 10s and a level 11 for the side of Los Catacuras. Only 1 level 12 for the side of Guerrilla Tactics, and that is that Blaziken looking to try and jump onto any of those attackers. Can Venusaur stop it? No, they let the custom score 40 right in its face. Turn our attention to the top side. Glacial Stage gets set by the Glacier, raining down the Icicle Spears onto the Mr. Mime, and Guerrilla Tactics wants this Registeel all for themselves. That shred and damage coming out from those attackers is going to be so much that Los Catacuras have to absorb.
Not going to have him to ground on fight, so the need to capitalize on it now. It's showtime, baby, as Mr. Mime goes on here. The Ross is going to do enough to find the KO onto the Glaceon. Huge amount of DPS, no longer on the side of Guerrilla Tactics. They do find the Blaziken as well. Los Catacados with a brilliant defense here, but they're going to need points as well. You can't just defend for the entirety of this game. You won't win it unless you go break some pads.
No, I agree with you. Oh, I don't know what happened to my voice just then. I agree with you 100%. Zacian gets caught into the melee with the Bright Future Meteor Storm rains down. Los Catacuras want to see a bright future coming to them at the end of this game. We're in the final stretch. The Glaceon is shredding down its fellow Ice type. The Wish is there to keep the Lapras nice and healthy, but Glaceon is chasing down Lapras alongside the Fury Cutter from Castle is finally going to be felled. 234, 127. Guerrilla Tactics have taken things to the extreme. They're pushing this pad with everything they've got.
I would love to see the damage numbers that Chari King was popping over onto Lapras then, buddy, because it was non-stop. The heals were there for the wish. We also had the passive coming through, and they were just getting plenty of healing. We are going to see the KO here from Jose, but unfortunately the damage is done. The pad has been broken. There is a lead for Guerrilla Tactics here. They've got a level 14 Blaziken and a level 13 on this Glaceon, which is dangerous levels for that Pokemon, but they do have their own with the Venusaur hitting level 13.
At that level, those ice shots are going to go incredibly quick. 123 points. Once again, my math is not my strong suit. Talking at the speed of light is what you and I excel at. And these players want to make sure that we don't get a breath in anyways. The beams are going across with the ice shot. Crosswood goes in with the X's. A caught in the mean look. And I think the Unite move is about to start popping off because that icicle spear is shredding down that Lapras.
They can find the KO onto Charlie King here. They might be able to go for a quick rip. And Anger is perfect onto the top of the Blaziken. And then back to Nurse Joy with a warm package as well. As Los Canicados are finding the answer at the moment. And jet button from Vertilo to get themselves away from the damage coming in from Charlie King. Divvy is there as well. Moonlight Frank has been used by Ayami. The rip is coming through. There's the showtime from Mr. Mime trying to block it off. It's going to be the beam that connects. Doesn't get the secure, but luckily Mr. Mime was there, and that is why this Pokemon is in this game, bro. People were doubting it. I wouldn't doubt Ropes if anybody could, because they get the Hundo Burger and the secure.
I mean, when you have hands the size of Mr. Mime, you shove something, you're definitely gonna take a notice of that. 244 to 327. These points are gonna rain on in. Smart decision by Venusaur here to just defend. Lapras could get this in, but Zacian is there. Once again, we know there is no scoring. Shield provided by those ground-up buffs, only an increased scoring animation. But here we go. They're gonna try to take a buff away from Lapras for 30 seconds. This is still doable, Tano. 130 points with 30 seconds left to go. Venusaur has jumped, but now pushing as a 5 could be exactly what Guerrilla Tactics need. 20 seconds on the clock. This is going to be a photo finish if Guerrilla Tactics can make it.
Unite moves, they've got Burn and Anger ready to go, trying to see if they can get on this. Showtime is ready to roll, trying to see if they can sneak some points in as Blazer can come through. They do have that crowd on buff, but the Burn and Anger is going to clean up Guerrilla Tactics. Lobo, Los Canicados turn up for their first sight at Unite Fight Club, and they're going to take this with a win. 3-2 to Los Canicados.
Absolutely stunning. What a way to make your debut into a new competition, into a new tournament. Brilliant play by Los Catacombs. You can see it straight from the draft screen what they were aiming for. The unbelievable amount of damage that the enhanced charge beam can output. The front line of Lapras, Umbreon, and of all things, Mr. Mime coming to the forefront, and in spectacular fashion, Mr. Mime secures the Groudon and takes the MVP. But look at the damage, double 90Ks coming out for the side of Birdilo. Leo almost hitting 90Ks and absorbing an immense 113k damage. Take a bow, Los Catacudos. The rest of the teams in the UFC, beware. There is a contender climbing their way up the ranks.
Yeah, especially against Guerrilla Tactics, who we already knew was a brilliant team here. You can bet everybody watching this has just sat on the edge of their seat. They've sat up now, buddy. They are aware that Los Catacados have come, and they mean business. But we got to say a huge shout out to both of these teams. It went all the way to the 5th game. That was a brilliant set by both, and every single member can take a bow, because that was an absolute pleasure to be involved with.
I mean, you and I, we love this game. We play this game. We watch this game, and we're continuously surprised every single time we sit here and we watch these players play. The evolution of all of the players throughout the UFC has been immense. The EU region is growing. They are learning. They are changing. They are on their game. I cannot wait to see what kind of performances they put when the official season starts, because based on this right now, one of the most exciting regions to watch right now.
And what the best part about it, bro, is this league and the other leagues that are going on in EU is giving these teams so much practice for when the brand new leagues kick off in the UCS. It's going to be an absolute pleasure to see players of this caliber playing week in and week out officially for the Unite Championship Series. It'd be an even bigger pleasure to be casting them, but what a brilliant pleasure it is to have them here with us on a weekly basis, bro. Every Monday, every Thursday, we get to witness the best level of Pokemon Unite action here in the European region.
I mean, we do this twice a week, every week with 1 week break, my guy. You'd think we'd get sick of Pokemon Unite, but nope. We get to sit here and watch these astounding plays, and the fact that the game has changed so much with Groudon, that is a completely different game. I think it was great tactician from both sides, but I loved what you could see from the side of Los Calacudos' comp going into this. They knew what they were doing. Their damage dealers were the Miraidon and the Venusaur. I mean, Lapras did an incredible amount of damage as well. But just the front line was just too strong.
That it was fire, mate. So Los Caracados, I'm sure, will be giving fire, mate. So Los Caracados, I'm sure, will be giving plenty of GGs over to Guerrilla Tactics, as both of these teams recognize they are the kings of the Unite Fight Club right now.
Mate, game recognizes game. That's why these players love to go up against each other. That's why you and I sit next to each other, because we're not actually friends. We're in competition with each other. That is a complete and utter lie. Don't you guys worry about that at all. But again, as we wrap it up here at the UFC, we have to once again give a massive shout out to our sponsors, grabtap and pinkparsnip computers. You saw Tano's lovely face staring into your soul as we opened up the broadcast. Please go check them out, as well as pinkparsnip computers. You use our code, you get 5% off all kinds of gaming gear as well as peripherals. We are so thankful to have sponsors that come on to this broadcast and support what we are doing here. Not only are they supporting us as casters and creators, they are supporting the players, they are supporting the game, and they are supporting the community and region, and that is all we can ask for. Big thank you to our observer, Bina. Thank you to our tournament head, Zen. Thank you to Arathor. Thank you to Yash. Thank you to Arpit, who was our wonderful person telling us exactly what was going on. Shout out to every single player that played today. You guys are absolutely incredible, giving us a show to watch. And thank you to everybody in chat, whether you're a player, a viewer, a spectator, a mod, or you're even a Stream Elements bot who had something going on with it today. We thank you so very, very much. Your support means the world to us. From myself and my beautiful co-caster next to me, thank you so much. If you want to get in touch with us, follow us over on Twitter. We love engaging with any kind of discussion about Pokemon Unite, whether the megas were absolutely necessary, whether Leafeon needs a nerf, and how absolutely useless that Latios is currently in the meta. Buddy, you got anything else to say before we head on out of here?
No, I'm just, exactly what you've said as well, buddy. I mean, we can't thank you enough with it being such a ridiculous early time in the morning, buddy. I would not want to do this with anyone else. So a huge shout out to you being on the mic. And just, say exactly what Lobo said. Give us some of your good plays on Twitter. I want to see what you're pulling out when we're not casting you so that we can have a talk about it. But otherwise, that's going to be it from us. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, and wherever you are, chat. And we will catch you on Thursday for more Unite Fight Club action. The incredible team over at grabtap have got me to get on this video and show you how their website works, and it's incredibly easy. To kick things off, we just go straight to this website here. So what is grabtap and how does it work? Grabtap is simple. It's a website where you can log in, choose whatever game you want to play or whatever your community would like to play, complete the missions, and then you get gift cards. You can redeem the points for gift cards. It's literally as simple as that, and it is just a brilliant way for creators to not only earn on the games that they could already be playing, but also to earn from your community as they play the games for you or with you. So as you can see, this is as simple as it gets. You'll log in, you'll choose a game, you'll see the missions for that game, and then you will be able to do those and earn the point that you can redeem to gift cards. And of course, if you are a viewer rather than a creator, you can redeem to support a creator following this. So let's get stuck into it. So as you can see, it's literally just grabtap.com, grabtap.com, and you'll click this lovely button here that says Start Now. That will open up multiple different login or sign up options that you want to take. I signed up with Twitch because why wouldn't I? So I'm going to take that one right here. So here we are, this is my screen. I'm currently signed in and it tells me the games that I can pick up and play here. From what you can see, I can also join another community using this button if there's somebody else's community that I want to be a part of. But this is me right now. These are the games that I currently have on offer that I'm able to earn from. Now let's say that we want to play Star Trek Fleet Command. We would click on this and then we would install the game onto either the device that we're currently using or into our mobile, for example. It says here what the options are. You can play it on PC, you can play it on Apple, you can play it on Android. And these are the total points that you can earn for this game. And that is a massive amount, by the way, guys. As you scroll down, you'll see the missions and what you need to do to be able to get those points. It's incredibly easy. It tells you exactly what you need to do, but also you get bonus points for any kind of money that you spend in the game. So not only are you getting what you need from the game, but you're also getting points. Incredibly good. And it'll also tell you the requirements on this right-hand side. Biggest one is usually that you must not have a VPN on because it needs to be able to track on the devices, and you should not switch devices whilst you are playing. And then once you've played these missions and you have got your points, you can go to the rewards menu and claim your rewards. Now if we had a look at Star Trek Fleet Command, that was over 200,000 points that you could get from playing that. And look at that, $50 gift card for 50,000 points. You can get plenty of those, and it is pretty amazing. You can see all the different options that you've got, from Twitch, Just Eat, to Amazon, to debit cards and everything like that. A brilliant way for you to earn whilst you game, as well as being able to get yourself some gift cards and your community being able to support you. Now you can head to your dashboard up in this top right hand corner, and this will tell you what you've earned from your community. Of course, I've signed in just now. I haven't used it just yet. Looking forward to doing so. But you can see some of the different games that they've had in the past down this list. It's really, really useful. And as I say, it's not just about a creator like me. You can swap back to player mode, and it's all about what you play and what you earn from the games that you have the options to have a go at. For example, I was already thinking of playing Marvel Strike Force, so I could have a look at that and earn myself 154,000 points. Pretty huge for me to then be able to go and redeem a gift card from. This website is incredibly easy to use. As I've shown you, you literally just sign in from one of the multiple options that you've got, and then you just head to the game screen as normal, pick whatever game you want to play, and once you pick that game up, you can see it in your missions menu for the game that you will be playing. So that's it, guys. It's as quick and as simple of a rundown as I can give you, because it's a very simple website to use and a very simple way for you to earn money, not only for yourself, but for your community as well. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you back on the games.